They did warn us they were coming.
Around post, around Martin. Brilliant stuff from Gibbs, and he finishes with a goal.
Some say they've arrived.
They're in the third position on the ladder. Another very impressive performance by this Carlton team.
With blue-collar workers complimenting their blue-chip stars.
And Carlton pressing once more. Cruiser!
2011 has been a hard grind for the boys from the West.
Amazing to think that the Western Bulldogs have fallen to this.
Fighting to keep their head above water.
Sometimes you just hang in there and it's ugly and the wheel can turn.
A big scalp is on offer today. Twilight Footy on Fox Sports.
Here we have 11th playing 4th, Lindsay Gilbey. No, he's not the captain. He's playing his 200th game. Chris Judd in the middle. A pretty intimidating player, no doubt about it. Lindsay Gilbey wins the toss, kicks to the left of screen, which is the Lockett end of the ground. They're calling it the Footscray end, the northern end of this ground. Well, Jared and Brad Johnson here with us, and of course down on the boundary we have our own Liam Pickering. Pickers, welcome.
Yeah, good to be here, Brian. It's actually great to be here because this is why you love coming to Etihad Stadium, because you turn up on a day where it's wet, it's cold, it's windy, roof's on, magnificent conditions. Looking forward to the midfield battles tonight. Judd and Murphy, obviously the key players. Expect Matty Boyd to go with Chris Judd, and certainly expect Picken to play on Murphy.
Nice work, Pickers, down there on the boundary line. All right, boys, ready to get it underway here. Great mouth-watering contest on offer on Sunday evening football, Jono.
Yeah, certainly is. And as the boys go to their positions, the Bulldogs certainly put a little beeline towards Brett Thornton from the Blues, just trying to get under his skin a little bit. Now we see Barry Hall certainly bumping into him as well. So they're going to try and get a little bit physical early, are the Bulldogs, from those signs, Jared.
Well, I just love the Blues forward line. Cruiser comes back to complement the three amigos. Walker's been basically in all-Australian form. Eddie Betts and Garland, obviously great at ground level.
And
Jarrett Waite comes back to add that extra complement of a lead-up forward, a bloke who can take a big hanger as well. Big job for Easton Wood. Looks like he's got the job of taking on Walker, who's unbelievably gifted.
Really even spread of goals amongst those guys you just mentioned as well, Jared, and that's what's so hard to attack about or defend with the Carlton forward line. Here we go, getting underway, and it's the Blues and the Dogs. Sunday footy.
200th game of Lindsay Gilbey. There he is on screen. He's got a big job. Simpson is a very attacking player. They're both probably going to play as sweepers in many ways at stoppages.
Hudson, who's found some form as well. Looking forward to seeing that man Cooney today, because fitness has come back for him and now he's playing some good footy as a result of that. Missed a lot of games. Dalhouse in the hunt here. Simpson. This man here has really been one of the major differences for the Blues this year, and that is why to put the ball out in front of Cruiser like he did then, worried the defender. He hung on a little and gave away the free.
Something the Bulldogs are going to have to be cautious of, as you're right, BT. Yaron's run all year has been first class.
Got to try and deny him the ball. Here is Cruiser going into the lead of Waite, as Jared mentioned, the lead up forward, out of the square. Here's the star, Judd, confronted by Markovic. Scotland, the look-away handball, did it nicely. And now Judd again through some traffic, had great poise, gave it on to Scotland. Good on either foot, this time the left. Long ball forward, mark attempt by Walker, leading goal kicker this year for the Blues. Garlett got a piece of it.
Well, all of a sudden, some of the big names for Carlton getting their hands on the ball. Scotland and Judd working very well in tandem out on the far wing.
Subs today, Josh Hill for the Dogs and Jordan Russell for the Blues. Back into play, here's the hard-working Cross. Used to be the fittest player on the Dogs list. Now second in line, I believe, behind who was it?
Ed Barlow.
Ed Barlow, the fittest man in the world.
Just some of that Boyd has gone to Judd, Picken to Murphy as expected. Simpson and Gilbey are mentioned, and Walker and Wood will be an interesting matchup.
The back door is Robertson with his first touch. Simpson on his wrong side. Good, the kick to the advantage of Cruiser. Just got nudged out of the ball nicely then in the end by Markovic, and now Cooney in the back pocket. Good kick. Yep. Got it to the man that can make it work by foot. More foot power than any other player in the competition. Hudson gave it on. to Murphy, back to Hudson, doesn't like to kick it. Here's the boy from the Falcons Footy Factory. It's Dalhouse. Look at him take them on. Took on Yaron in a foot race. Nice composure to Gia. Could have given a handball to the running Grant. Elected not to Gian Siracusa. And his ball was smothered as a direct result. And now the Blues maintain possession with Dygan. The give and go to Yaron. Oh, they've opened them up through the midfield. Didn't give it to Warnock because he knows he's a better kick, Gibbs. A driving ball forward. Here comes Waite. Punched away magnificently by Tom Williams.
Yes, it's great interception from Williams. Read it well, got the angles right.
Hot pace.
Well, it comes back to Daniel Syracuse had an option just to give a quick handball out to Jared Grant. Went to snap on his left. There's the quick handball there. May have been a quick overlap to Liam Jones. Bulldogs would have scored.
The only thing I could say about that is Grant might have been a touch close to him.
Yep.
Tackler could have got him. And we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. There's been an unbelievable touch, as you spoke about in the pre-game. Dragged over the line was the player that's probably, is he in the best form of all Dog players, Ryan Griffin, Jono?
Yeah, he certainly is himself. Matty Boyd's leading the comp, or with Sam Mitchell in disposal, so you can't certainly question his efforts over the whole season.
Hudson coming back into some nice touch at the right time. Grant did well. Ward, and a lot spoken about him. Robinson gave it away, and then the bump, but it went straight to Dalhouse. Around the corner, tipping ball. Barry in a foot race here, gathers. Little right foot, banana around the corner. Magnificent stuff from Barry Hall and the Dogs.
Yeah, it was great conversion by Barry Hall. Understood what was required, didn't back himself for pace, and that's a smart decision at his age, and just didn't want to get on the left. Dalhouse, though, is the one that's already got a couple of handy possessions. There is Barry Hall, happy to go with the outside of the boot, the banana. But Dalhouse, with the responsibility for Yaron, is also going to be asked to get away and try and expose Yaron with the football. And so far, he's had 2 kicks inside forward 50, both of which should have resulted in goals. That one did.
Got a bit of excitement about it. You can feel it, the electricity here. Crowd building very nicely indeed. 5-point lead with the Dogs. And neither jumping in the air. Hudson timed it the best. Warnock got the ball out, but it comes straight to Ward. He looks to attack and drive the ball long. Here comes Barry Hall again. Did really well, Dygan, to step in front, didn't he? Thornton, a little chisel out wide. And now Murphy. Some say a possibility of leading the Brownlow at the moment, or certainly the best and fairest at the Blues, along with Chris Judd. Kick forward, not great, Boyd. Been an absolute rock for the Dogs over a number of years now, Boyd.
Now, he won't want to go down this wing here because Judge has come off the bench. He's going to kick it straight to his opponent.
Higgins has just come on with Judd as well, and Laidler.
That's a poor kick. Just got to be better than that.
Laidler looking to switch the play, gets it out wide, looking for Joseph, got the run, needs a sitting bounce here, had to go down and get it, couldn't close him down, Gian Syracuse, good kick to Scotland, knocked away by Morris, did well without offending. Well done, Dale Morris.
You're surprised Jordan Russell is the substitute for the Blues?
I am. I thought he would have been probably the perfect matchup for Daniel Syracuse today.
Must be part of their bigger picture program in terms of minutes into players, I guess, Jared. Could be the only reason for that. Here's Liam Jones.
And you can't keep going back to Houlihan and those types of players that have already been subbed for a couple of times this year, because it just affects their game time.
Just having a look at one of the matchups in the Bulldogs forward, like Brett Thornton's actually matching up on Hooper, who's about 5'8".
Markovic recovers the best. The bandage on the right shoulder. Around the corner, kicked it straight to Judd. Did Markovic. The nephew of Brian Markovic, of course, one of our great race callers here in Australia. There is Chris Judd. And the superstar will line up from about 50 metres. Roof closed, very wet conditions if you just joined us outside the dome here today. Just pulled that a little left. Had another exceptional year, Judd. So here we get a look at the zone that Carlton are implementing. Lindsay Gilbey, it's a nervous job being a kicker these days with the sort of zones that are implemented. You've got to be really on your game. The run of Murphy from half-back, that's a lovely kick to Hall. Probably should have gone out with the hands. He thought it might have cleared the fingertips there and went the chest mark. The strength in pushing Henderson out of the way. Laidler had it. Did he dispose of it legally? The umpire said it was knocked out in the tackle. And that man would have blown his whistle if he'd seen the free, because that man is Razor Ray Chamberlain.
Paul Bauer, good job coming across, third man up to support his teammate Henderson. He was the one that got the ball away from Barry Hall. But they're getting the ball through the Carlton zone pretty well at the moment, the Bulldogs.
They are, Jared, and that's the challenge for the Bulldogs. When the Bulldogs are slowed up, they find it difficult to get the ball forward of centre. When they're allowed Rob Murphy to get on handball receives, they're going to be under pressure all day long.
Cooney, Simpson, Tom Williams. He's put some games together this year, Tom Williams. Been free of injury. Lovely cross kick. Finds Higgins. He can go either side as well. Driving ball. Up goes Jones. In front, couldn't win it out the back door. Blues under enormous pressure. Henderson did well to knock it forward. Picked up by Gian Syracuse. Swung around. It's bending back. Bending. That had about 7.5 yards of bend on it.
Yeah, it certainly moved through the air, but interestingly, on comes Higgins and on comes Houlihan. So clearly that matchup is in the mind of Brett Ratton, the coach.
Laidler with the duties at this end for the Blues. It's got a real buzz of electricity around this ground at the moment. That's a poor kick, Easton Wood.
He's got his hands in the air, Laidler. He was the one who did the kicking, but maybe he was expecting somebody to move into that space.
Jared Grant's calling for a deep. His opponent's Chris Judd.
Okay. It goes to Barry Hall matchup. Jared Grant in amongst it. Got both hands on it. You're quite right, Jono. Trying to back out of it was Allard. Got a little bit of a nondescript handball. Here's Laidler. Hopes to make amends with this kick. Robertson commits himself in the air.
There's good energy by the Bulldogs defensively right now. They are in for a bit of a taste of it.
Ward rips it away. Judd got a timely hand on it. Barry a poor bounce. And now Scotland in defence. Just a little kick out wide, and you get the feeling that Thornton will just slow it down from here.
I think the whole of Carlton need to slow it down just to absorb this, I guess, 5 minutes of momentum that the Bulldogs have produced early in the match.
Houlihan on the defensive 50. Have to kick it down the line.
Really good matchup for the Dogs. I think Murphy on Garlett at the moment. Garlett hasn't spent a lot of time on attacking half-backs, and he needs to defend as much as he needs to attack tonight.
What about that? Griffin was coming off the bench, hoped to get it off Williams and had to give it back to him in the end. He'll feel he was robbed of a ball there. Joseph in defence here.
Kicking that one to Dalhouse. That's where Grant and Jones need to be that option around 50 metres to 60 metres out from goal.
Just their kicking efficiency at the moment, the Bulldogs would be Rodney Eads' biggest concern. They've won the ball well, their tenacity and their spirits up, but they keep driving it back inside forward 50 to Carlton defenders.
Been a bit of a concern for the majority of the year. And Yaron just coming off the bench.
And we see here, this is Mitch Robinson at his best. That's what he's been able to do all year. Just commits to the contest every single time. His eyes do not deviate off the ball.
Yeah, he knew he was going to absorb some contact there, didn't he? He just gritted the teeth and said, I'm committed.
Interesting watching Boyd go at the stoppages with Judd. He's taking a defensive position, trying to push Judd up inside and then sort of whip out the back.
Gibbs there, ducked the head, some traffic, a bit of an inverted torque to centre-half forward and Easton Wood again. So the Dogs, as you rightly point out, Jared, look switched on and sharpish at the moment and full of defensive mechanisms. There's Gian Syracuse. And he says, get out of the hole to pick. And he said, I want someone to present there. And that's exactly what happens. Well done, Daniel Gian Syracuse, in telling your team how to get on with it.
He's working hard, Callum Ward, getting plenty of the ball.
Really good-looking kick into a juggling Higgins. And Higgins is within range. Now remember, this quadrant of the ground, a little left to right slider. Say it every time I do a game here. When will they learn, Jared?
Not sure about your left to right slider theory, BT. Clearly you don't play golf, where golfers draw the ball into a left to right
I
wind.
know, but what I'm saying is someone that does draw it right to left, that'll be cancelled out and it'll be a straight kick for them, but a left to right kicker of the ball is going to be exaggerated.
Okay.
Always left to right, Jared, unless they hook the ball. Now, I've got my fingers crossed. Higgins comes in. Kick on the way. Oh, gone the other way. Just starting to fade in its last couple of metres. But in the end, a little bit too far out for Higgins to get the accuracy.
Interesting the way they're using him, John. I mean, he has spent the last month or so playing as an attacking defender, and yet they start him on the bench, trying to distract Carlton from whatever plan they had, and then bring him on and push him forward.
Yeah, but the thing is, Houlihan, as mentioned, started on the bench as well. As soon as Sean stood up, Houlihan stood up as well.
Walker over the top, couldn't quite hold on to it long enough. Judd got Boyd in the tackle, but Boyd with the strength to still get it away. Gibbs did the right thing. Look at Robinson committing himself at the face of the fall of the ball. Smothered. Picken did well, battled it back up towards Barry Hall. An opportunity in the air. Henderson did well with a double-handed fist. Simpson ran into the wall, got him too high cross.
Well, he certainly got him high. The question I think the umpire just needed to ask himself was did he duck?
And 50. And 50 Robinson. A little problem with the shoulder has Mitch Robinson at the moment. He'll stay out there, so he's just got a bit of a stinger on that bump from Griffin. In the meantime, play on, and the ball is deflected off cross and turned it over badly here, the Blues. Griffin didn't get rid of it. It had prior opportunity, did he? The umpire said no.
Well, the Dog supporters are all saying, what about me? Because
for the high one?
The high one certainly looked there as well. Good bouncer.
Great bounce, umpire Matthew Nichols there. There's Hudson. Does a lot of this unnoticed work at the ground level. Laidler, clean hands.
Jeez, Robert Murphy.
Free kick, Mark Murphy off the ball. Razor Ray is blowing the whistle from a long, long, long way away.
And he's spot on though, BT. We'll get another look at that stoppage. He was in a headlock, hammerlock, whatever lock you like. Picken certainly was breaking the rules.
Bauer just goes out wide to Houlihan. He's marked it, not within range.
He's sharp tonight, Razor. He was right on the ball.
He is. Houlihan goes a driving ball. Here comes Williams again. Gee, he looks in total command in the air at the moment, Jono.
First time I've seen that this year.
Looks positive.
Looks very positive.
Change the opponent here as well. Cross and Simpson now going head to head.
I reckon earlier he would have gone up and punched that.
Punched it for sure.
And not risked taking the mark. Tom Williams.
Let's just take a look at this replay. And you can see number 42 there on Murphy. He's around him. He's still around him. He still wants him. And then he goes high as well.
That was the one there where he called the free kick, just where the arm went up over the top.
Houlihan forgot to take the ball through the traffic there. And Carlton at the moment, perhaps just a little bit surprised at the aggressiveness with which the Dogs have come to play here today. And well, just adjusting to that tempo.
Yeah, it's making for good footy though. Have you seen the Gibbs-Griffin matchup, Jono?
Yeah, well, Rodney had called it before the game. With Carazzo out of the side, he expected Gibbs to go through the midfield. Surprised me that he did go to Griffin, but it's been a pretty good matchup so far. Griffin's been able to hasn't touched the ball yet, actually, so he's been in around the contest a lot, as Ryan Griffin.
He's got a lot of scalps this year, Gibbs. He's played on key forwards like Goods. He's played on midfielders. He's played as an attacking half-back, putting together a really good season.
Thornton pushing his man under the ball and failed to take the mark. Robinson picked it up, got the handball away. Some thought it was a throw, but nevertheless it comes to Gibbs. The build-up impressive here. Cruiser got nudged under the ball very nicely there. Soccer off the ground. Simpson. Blues back in business.
Once again, it was one off half-back. Gibbs involved again. It's a real concern for Rodney at this stage, but that was a throw, and Delhouse was a little bit stiff, but that one wasn't paid. He threw that up in the air, and then he punched it. Doesn't matter whether he was attempting it, I think that was a throw. And then Simpson, who's just got away from cross, gone forward, run hard, gets the goal.
Yeah, it was the old throw it up and hit it with the one hand, wasn't it?
Yep, two motions.
Just a Carlton forward line here, boys. well when it's got inside 50 for the Blues.
Indeed they are. Very strong pickers across that half-back area. Here's Murphy now, looking to get onto this one. Gave it inside to Allard. A pumping ball to the advantage of Waite. Did well to get back, though, and defend Tom Williams because he was completely out of position.
Well, that time we saw Higgins start at half-back with Houlihan, his man, but it was Houlihan who charged in. He got the centre clearance and the handball over to Murphy. So Higgins has got to, if he's going to play that role, know the difference between a defence and attack.
Hudson trying to keep his arms free. And he's been pinged for a throw there. And this will mean a shot at goal for Carlton from close range. Still yet to work out who's actually got the free.
Looks like Allard.
Allard, is it? Yes, it is. And he's within a very comfortable 35 metres.
Just a metre in front of you, mate.
You can hear Ray Chamberlain just saying to Hudson, you've just got 1 metre, so don't run too far forward of the mark. Allard, in the meantime, quite a easy shot at goal to the Coventry southern end of this stadium. Kick on the way, doesn't let them down. They lead by a goal here, the Blues.
Well, they've been able to settle the Blues, Jared, over the last couple of minutes of play. And we see here Ben Hudson actually tapped it, then grabbed it. So a bit stiff in some terms, that he probably went the hit out first and then thought, well, I'm a chance to grab this and get it on without being pinked for holding the ball. As we know, if you directly grab it out of...
It was a A-grade drop punt, wasn't it?
It was indeed. Very clean from Allard, not regarded as a goal kicker. Has played 19 games so far for just 12 career goals, 9 of them this year. Boyd out of the middle, hoists the high one. Barry was behind, worked his way to the front position. Now Yaron to just get hold of the crumbs. Cool in the crisis, bit of an ordinary kick, but it tumbles in the right direction here for Joseph. Oh, who hit the perimeter piping rather hard. Allard it was. Little low ball into Houlihan and drove him in the back. So Boyd free at half forward. Plays on immediately to Cooney. Cooney on the left side. Here comes Jones. Got a good pair of hands, we know that. Off hands. Picked up here in the end. Involved was Reed. Perhaps should have been too high. Crowd not happy. Home game here for the Dogs today. As Allard praying into the piping. And then the perhaps highish tackle there. And Reed. Gian Syracuse lurking dangerously outside. Dalhouse trying to get it moving quickly. Thornton the interception, and now Gibbs. The run away from half-back. Ward tries to clone down. Driving ball to the advantage of Waite. Williams did well not to offend then. Really well. Waite and Williams go at it one-on-one. Allard did well to strip the ball. Waite's got it inboard. Warney can drive it long. Deep. They've got 2 down there. It's Gala. It's Cruiser. Who can get hold of it? Cruiser. A little sloppy with the left side. And now the Dogs, or are they? Walker, a spinning move out of trouble. Gave it on to Houlihan. Very capable in front of goal. Misses this time.
Well, Higgins on the bench at the present time, so it's not his man. It may actually be Gilby. Let's take a look at this free kick. There's the trip that could have been played and wasn't.
Wood. Griffin. Nice work by Gian Syracuse. A penetrating double bounce down the wing. Beautiful presentation to Barry Hall.
So I like the work rate of Hooper, Jono. He really is doing some unrewarded yards at the moment.
Yeah, himself and young Dalhouse are actually working quite hard up and down the ground, trying to put as much pressure on as they possibly can.
Gee, there's some work being done off the ball in the attempt to lead here by the Dogs. Griffin chips it in magnificently to Jones. A lot of body contact going on off the ball there.
Jeez, I think Brett Thornton, he's having a chat to one of his teammates, Laidler, just wondering what went wrong there.
Well, what went wrong?
In fact, it was Mitch Robinson.
We'll wait till after Liam has a kick.
Jones. Kicked the 10 goals this year. This one looks pretty simple, doesn't it? And he just gets it off the instep. He's made it work, though, and the Dogs get one back.
Well, the way they were able to work that, Jared, was they were both blocking for each other, and Jared Grant went for a lead on the fat side and drew two opponents with him, which left Liam Jones standing in the goal square all by himself. And his direct opponent in the end had to be Mark Murphy, just a total mismatch. And they're all asking the question as to how that happened, the Blues.
Well, his regular opponent is Brett Thornton, and not sure where he got to, but he was not even on screen. There he is now.
Jones and Thornton there. Good overhead, Jones. What's the one thing he needs to improve on, Jono, Liam Jones?
He just needs to try and build his endurance over the next couple of years. It's one area that he certainly is improving in, but it needs to try and take that to another level.
Thanks very much, guys. Let him run. Thanks, David.
Very nice manners by Ray in there, thanking everybody for getting off the ball.
I wonder if we'll see a commando role today.
He's worked on his bouncing, Ray, because he was not getting it up earlier in the year, and he has found an extra couple of metres. There's a free. Go the way of the Blues. Look at Scotland hanging around for the ball, and he says to Murphy, no, you go, because Cross has got me. Now there is the forward situation ahead of him. Murphy just hoiks it to the top of the square. Markovic's got a run at it, went too hard too early underneath the ball. Walker was tackled the moment he was about to let go of the kick, and the boundary umpire has been bowled over as a result by Eddie, who I'm reliably informed with those shorts, as we take a look at the tackle on Walker. Those shorts that Eddie Betts wears are in fact a large size. He likes the look of the large for the sort of hip-hop look, short style, Jono. You know how the jeans down the backside?
Just down under the line?
He's doing that with the shorts, and so I'm reliably informed by a spy down there, goes with the large shorts. Here is Gian Siracusa.
Hooper really working Yaron overtime. He's going up the ground with him, and then he's just charging to the goal square.
A ripping ball to Hall on the lead. Just think this is almost beyond Barry from here.
I reckon they're trying to blow Yaron up. Whoever's on Yaron is just working up and down the ground, going for extra leads. And maybe they've got a question mark on his endurance.
So Hall will have to get every bit of this ball. Just chips it into the pocket. Nice ball. Strong hands by Picken in the end. And it was a lovely disguised ball from Hall, who sold it as if he was going to kick it long. Or is it the young fella? Might even be the young fella Hooper, I think. No, it's Picken. I was right the first time. So Picken it is. 30 metres out. Tough angle about it. Not an easy kick, as you can see there. Kick on the way. A little bit left. And just the left to right fade, Jono's just
not working for it.
A little too close there. Hit the ball a little too firmly. I don't know why you guys are ganging up on me on that. I've seen a lot of games here and I see it going left to right, but anyway, I'll be proven right or wrong by the end of the day. Now Jones, Cruiser.
Good grab. He's got some talent. Needs a bigger tank.
Should have given that to Gilby on the handball initially, and Gilby was away. As it is now, he's got to kick over the man on the mark.
Probably conversion as well, Jono, is the thing holding him back just at the moment.
Grant's got to beat a couple. Man, that might be a free kick to Grant, who got one in their back. No, umpire said he put his hand on the player in front.
Might have gone a shade early too, I think, Peter. Would have had to be
I think he's
hangers of the year.
He's given Henderson a bit of a startling knock on the scon there.
Henderson come over the top. And he's head-butted his own teammate.
Hit heads.
Average kick.
Yeah, and it was under pressure. Here is Ward as a result. Left foot around the corner. Reid was calling for the ball high, but
the umpire saw the grab on the Bulldogs player. The supporters saw the grab. The question was he faking or was it a legitimate free kick unpaid?
Callum Ward would be disappointed with that. He kicked a goal similar to that against the Gold Coast a couple of weeks ago.
Good spoil by Murphy on the top of Simpson.
Bulldogs have been very impressive in the air so far in this game. Carlton not really able to take any uncontested marks, but closing the space really well.
24 marks to 14 pickers, so you're right. And a number of those contested. Cruiser, no mark there to Murphy. The umpire called that clearly. Garlett in there working hard.
60.
It's interesting with...
Let's just take a look at whether or not this was a free kick, because all the Bulldog supporters ran up. This had to be close.
He never actually took possession, did he?
No.
Yet he was hung on to. Gee, Cruiser did well to get the front position. Tried to ram it down the throat of Judd then. Almost scooped it to him. Gee, Ward ran into a brick wall, being Ellard, with a ferocious tackle.
It's interesting with Robert Murphy down back in terms of last week he played on Liam Jarrah and had to negate that role. Today he's got Garlett, so he's not going to be able to be as proactive. And that's where they need Higgins to be able to get back there in certain times to create that run through, so Murph can just purely focus on the defensive side of his game. 7
free kicks to the Blues to 1 to the Dogs. No wonder the Dogs fans are a little upset here. Not that they ever should be even. And was this a throw from Cruiser? We've seen a couple so far in this game already. He actually brought it down with the arm. It's almost sort of scoop style.
Interesting that they're resting Warnock on the bench rather than pushing him forward. I suspect they'll throw him down there at some stage, but you can see Cruiser now on the ground, so they've got Judd going forward and a smaller forward setup.
Garlett going one-on-one with Murphy. Very, very dangerous around the goals is Jeffy Garlett. Wait, looking just a little proppy there.
And Jono, you'll know this better than me, but Murphy and Morris are very versatile defenders. Garlett and Betts being prolific scorers this year. And good matchups. I like the way the Dogs have gone about their matchups today.
Yeah, especially with those two. And we see the Dogs just hold it in at the moment with those two pickers. I think Eddie Betts would be the shock one. I don't think he would expect Morris today, especially with Andrew Walker up and running. I think they would have thought Morris would go to Walker in similar height. But he has done a good job in the past.
Knocked down to Houlihan. Kicked it around the corner just for the behind. So scores level here again at 16 apiece. Just under a minute remaining.
Just to back up your point, Eddie seemed to have a possession, Eddie Betts, in a quarter of footy.
Few players on the ground, just a couple of players on the ground, half a dozen. Eddie's one of those. Jordan Russell, of course, is sub today. Lockie Henderson hasn't had a touch yet either. Kick around the body here is just to the left-hand side by the dangerous Garlett. Hooper hasn't had a touch. Morris just the one touch. Josh Hill, the sub for the Dogs.
Both sides have had their opportunities. 2-4 to 2-6.
Gilby with a long ball out. Williams again sets himself. Waite did well over the top. Stays alive for the Blues. Walker here. Good ground level shot there. Good crowd in the Dome today.
Well, Thornton now off the ground because he was matched up on Jared Grant. So they've whipped Bauer back on to take probably account of the speed.
Simpson wants the left side. Had to work it with the right. Betts caught behind. Nicely done in front. Couldn't hold the ball on that occasion. Morris picked up, and how easy was that, hitting the post from Eddie. Eddie Betts, very, very dangerous around goals. Kicked 27 of them this year.
Just looked to be lacking that bit of structure up forward. I mean, Eddie Betts was the one who was expected to go for the fly. He ended up getting the crumb, but Waite really not having an influence at the moment.
Warnock just stood there, or others tried to jump, and Scotland waving for the ball, and Mitch Robinson it was, got a give and go back from Houlihan. Siren sounds. So very tight first quarter of football. Both sides still on the feel-out process, you get the feeling. And it is the Blues who lead marginally, 2-7-19 to the Western Bulldogs, 2-4-16. Pushing his man under the ball and trying to take the mark. Robinson picked it up, got the handball away. Some thought it was a throw, but nevertheless it comes to Gibbs. The build-up impressive. Cruiser got nudged under the ball very nicely there. Soccer off the ground. Simpson. Blues back in business. Very tight first quarter. Carlton lead it by just the 3 points. You can see a number of players getting hold of the ball. Robinson impressive. Simpson's got it a bit. Cooney and Ward as well. All single goal kickers to this stage of the game as we go downstairs to Liam Pickering. Pickers.
Yeah, Brian, I reckon Rodney would be pretty happy with his defence. His matchups have really worked well. They've got nothing, Carlton have got nothing out of the likes of Garlett, the likes of Eddie Betts. Walker's been well held as well. So they're doing well in defence. The one area of concern is the stoppages. 14-6 at the stoppages in favour of Carlton. Murphy leading the way. He's had 4 clearances out of his 7 touches.
Nice work, Rodney Eade going to work on the Bulldogs there. Brett Ratton very cool with the Blues. Both sides still in the feeling out process, Jono, here at the moment.
Yeah, they are, BT. Pretty high intensity there in the first quarter. The concerning thing, though, for the Bulldogs is Carlton have gone inside 50 12 times and had 9 scoring shots. So they're getting the ball in, they're actually getting on the scoreboard. If they can convert those into goals, then they will widen this gap rather quickly.
The 2 big boys, Warnock and Cruiser, working out what they'll do this quarter. Looks like they're both starting on the ground in this quarter. And which Cruiser will go forward.
Yeah, Cruiser goes forward. Just haven't been able to get too much free ball and spear one into him. I mean, obviously you can bring the ball to the ground with the amigos at the ground level. You've got Walker who can take a fly as well. But as Pickers rightly pointed out, they've done a great job, the Bulldogs, from a defensive aspect right through, not just their defenders but also the midfield. Their defence has prevented any free flow, as have their forwards. But at the other end of the ground, I think Brett Ratton will be pretty pleased with the job that Joseph has done on Gian Siracusa today. He's had a couple of touches, Jer, but hasn't been able to impact on the scoreboard. Very tight game. It's a really good situation where you go to quarter time and it's not really evident who is going to win this match.
That is for sure, as they organise themselves on the bench. There is Daniel Gian Siracusa, Callum Ward and our own Rowan Smith there.
Only issue I think for Rodney Eade would be contested possessions. If Carlton continue this dominance, 12 up at the present time, probably only a matter of time before it results in score.
Very high bounce from the umpire there, Matthew Nichols. Here is Picken. Putting it out in front. Murphy, quick hands. Judd, likewise. Warnock looking for the give and go. Didn't have anyone to give it to in the end. Had to go backwards to Scotland. Really nice kick by Scotland to Bauer. And he takes the mark at half forward. Little kick sideways to Laidler. Laidler, just another small ball and finds Gibbs. Nice Gibbs.
Yours.
Just puts it on the head here of Walker, gives him a chance in the air, couldn't quite get it done, off hands. Griffin's got to go. Warnock there, had the composure to get it out to Judd, through a lot of traffic. Judd, 45 metres out, long ball inside. Tom Williams to fist away again, been very, very impressive. Easton Wood's got to get rid of this, and he does. Cross handball is partially smothered, picked up by the Blues. They're still in the hunt here. Eventually Williams again. Simpson. Betts on the outside, socket away by Higgins.
Oh, good grab.
And nice mark taken by Joseph. And 50 metres, I think.
Good start by Joseph.
It is. 50-metre penalty. It's mean Joseph will kick from the top of the 10-yard square.
What about the dance of Chris Judd? He saw 3 players that he had to get around. He just seems to have that innate sense to know which way to move first to throw the 3 off balance.
Almost dances through them, doesn't he? Here is Joseph to seal what is a certain goal, and a good start for the Blues here in the second quarter.
It's a very good start. And you look at Chris Judd here, and we see him dance around a couple of quick Bulldog players, but then his eyes would have lit up here when he seen Ben Hudson in front of him. That would have been an easy step. And then we'll have a look here. Joseph takes a good mark, and Hooper just runs 3 or 4 steps over the mark, which is why he got paid 50 metres against.
Just can't afford to give those away in a tight game. He's working hard, is Hooper man, but they are things that haunt your performance, and Kate Simpson needs a tick there as well. And it was his pressure that forced Higgins to have to kick it off the ground and therefore the turnover.
Very rough 50 there. Gee, he stepped over the line marginally and just for a split second.
As a player though, BT, you've got to know, don't you, what coming into a weekend, what appears in previous matches all weekend to have been a focus.
Overrunning it, Walker has Betts getting onto the loose ball. Their tackle arriving just in time. Did they take him forward? No. Garlett got rid of it as he was tackled. And the Bulldogs defenders are up to the task here at the moment.
They are, BT, but the contested possession players aren't at the present time. And it is like holding back the tide. If they don't start winning more of the contested ball at these stoppages, the Blues will set about a blowout.
48-33 in the contested ball at the moment in favour of the Blues, as Gerard points out. Here's Hudson. Laidler did well in front.
I think the Boyd match-up on Judd's not working for them, because at each of the stoppages, Judd's doing a lot of blocking.
Walker couldn't get a run at that. Norris got the hand on it. No fuss defender, Dale Morris. Warnock with a hand on this. Betts couldn't get free. Cruiser, lovely handball out the side. How easy was that for the Blues? Absolutely magnificent. Murphy finishes with the goal.
Stoppages, Jono, they've got to be sorted out.
Yeah, they do need to have a look at that, and certainly very reactive at the moment to Carlton's movement, and that's something that the Bulldogs certainly aren't handling at the moment. They need to try and work out a way to become a bit more proactive in that area of the ground. They seem to lose their sweeper there as well. That would stop that.
Judd on screen, came across. He's doing an awful amount of blocking at the present time. They're all going to Judd, and Judd's the one who's doing the blocking for the others.
I'm not so sure the positioning there of Picking was all that good, though, all the same, Gerard. He's in defensive 50. He's standing alongside of him. You need to be defensive side.
Having a little bit of space out wide. Warnock, here's Hudson. A bit of a fresh airy. Scotland saw an opening, couldn't find it in the end. Nice forward opportunity. Well at ground level there, Joseph, although ball comes back into his defensive 50. Henderson with a handball to Thornton. Thornton wide, can see Gibbs. If he can get it there, they're out. It was not a good kick. Gibbs was really disappointed in it. Jones takes the mark, hammers it. Barry Hall wanted it to the square. And he turns around and says to Jones, "What are you doing?"
Not his greatest strength, kicking Jones. Barry Hall, he may well have actually been trying to kick it to the advantage side, but it wasn't all that well effective.
Henderson elects to go to the ruckman contest. Scotland now. Ward went the bump rather than the tackle there. And this allows Simpson to get out. Allard did well in pushing Ward out of the way. Simpson now was read nicely by Gilby, who intercepted, and in the end that's a win for the Dogs.
Just a little bit sloppy there from Simpson, a little bit casual. They've worked it well together. He's working really hard, but he had to clear over the top, and Gilby, geez, he did well there to stop that one. That was a goal coming up.
Robinson deliberately went in front of Ray Chamberlain to give himself an extra second.
Again, BT. That's seven out of 17.
Yep. Interesting if we saw that on replay, just to see Mitch Robinson, who ran off the bench directly in front of Ray Chamberlain, just stopped him bouncing the ball momentarily, give himself a second to get in position. Very smart professional play. Boyd goes to Jones, couldn't keep it alive. Laidler gave it back to Joseph, but he was running into traffic. There's an opportunity for Dygan. Gathers the ball in the middle ground. Short ball, Gibbs. And another 50. Murphy's done the same as we saw Hooper a moment ago. He went over by a metre, and Razor Ray blew the whistle and said 50. Murphy knew straight away he had offended. Goal, the Blues. Gibbs comes straight from the ground.
And all of a sudden the margin out to 21 points. Blues look like they've just moved it up a gear. Either that or the Bulldogs haven't been able to go with them. And you can be critical of umpires playing rules that are appearingly or seemingly technical, but the umpires have clearly been instructed that this is going to be 50.
You know, you're right, Gerard, and you're right about Carlton kicking it up a gear. 6 inside 50s to 2 at this stage of the quarter. 86% effective as well.
You feel a bit for Murphy there. He knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah.
The release handball, so he went to sort of cut it off on the 45, but unfortunately kept walking or kept jogging.
It's almost unnatural from a player's perspective, isn't it? You're trying to anticipate the next move. He is going to play on, but you can't do it.
And your body momentum left over from attacking the ball is also going in the same direction. Here's the Eddie. Look at how clean he was at the ground level. Hoists the high ball of the square. A Shepherd will be suffice here. And Betts gets into the scoring action.
Well, it's just been an absolute annihilation in clearances in this term. They have just gone forward time and time again. So many times it's been Murphy who's taken the spot of Chris Judd, who's either blocking or going inside. And Murphy takes the space left by Judd. And they have been damaging once they've got it.
You said it was only a matter of time before the floodgates opened, Gerard, about 10 minutes ago. Well, since you said that, they've kicked 4 consecutive goals. The Blues.
Well, maybe they have acted, because now Callum Ward is on Judd, and I think that was a good matchup coming in. Boyd's too big of an advantage. It looks to me as if he doesn't know whether to attack or defend.
Another clearance here. Murphy avoids the tackle. I've got the give and go for Robinson. He can go all the way. Took a bounce. 45 and closing. Low ball. Cruiser. Walker's there as well. Couldn't mark it in the end. Eddie Betts gets hold of it. Opportunity for Waite. Didn't have time to get it onto the boot, and Easton Wood wrapped him up.
Looks like Ward was only with Judd at that centre clearance. What do you think, Jono? Make a dead set tag on Judd, or are you happy just to let it go? I know Boyd has got a number of possessions, but I don't see him as effective as what Judd is at the moment.
I think Murphy's the one they need to have a close look at the moment. It's not working for Picken at all. And that's the one. He's the one who's most damaging.
50-metre penalty there. Razor Ray really starting to sort them out with the whistle. There's Dalhouse presenting. Pursued by Yarran. Young boy via the Geelong Falcons, and Nick Turner down there. One of the few footy factories in Victoria. Warnock and Hudson. Warnock just went straight over the top. Hudson stood firm though. Robinson. Back they come. Dygan trying to bore a hole through. Dalhouse. Joseph. Little give to Houlihan. He gained some valuable ground to get it up onto the neutral wing.
To give you some idea of the domination in this second term, Jono just changes his stat sheet on me. That's better, Jono. 41 possessions in this quarter to 13. Blues in charge.
That's a free kick to Ward. A little clumsy there from Robinson.
Talk about individuals not working. You mentioned the Picken one, Jono. 12 clearance, 12 possessions, I should say, to Murphy. 5 to Picken. 6 clearances in that 12 possessions for Murphy. So he's certainly not hurting him the other way at all. So Murphy's just doing his own thing really out there at the moment.
So Hall, man in the background enjoying his pie. Just going with the sauce off the fingers first. As Barry lines up, an important kick here for the Dogs, and nowhere near it. And that is a free kick every day of the week, and the umpire could not have been in better position, yet he couldn't see that. That's amazing. Either that or they've relaxed on that contact. Henderson and Yarran combining. Yarran being corralled by Boyd and kicks it out of bounds in the full. So the Dogs, for the first time in a long time, getting a little bit of time with their forward end of the ground. Can they make it work? Very congested forward end, as you can see. Cruiser up with the fist. But they'll get another stoppage close to goal here, the Dogs.
Hands off, Liam! Hands off!
Cruiser. Cooney read it best. Intercepted it, actually. Yarran through some traffic. Houlihan's ball was smothered. Barry Hall tried to rip it out. Henderson got the handball to Dygan, and now Houlihan. He retreated. Thought it needed to be clean, and he was lucky to get away with that. just behind in the end. So for the first time in a long time, the Dogs applying some pressure and locking the ball at their end. What can Yaron do to get it out of the zone? Lovely kick it is to Bauer.
It looked like Eastonwood could have made some ground there, John Owen. He could have impacted on that, surely. He looked like he just came up to stand on the mark.
Well, they've already given away 2 50-metre penalties in this quarter.
He could have punched it.
I don't think they want to give away 3.
Scotland. Short ball, Allard. Lovely hands overhead in front of Higgins.
There's been a spark, Allard.
Pulls the umpire back. Gibbs to Yaron. Yaron will want to go straight up the middle. He does. Look at the 2 speedsters go. Dalhouse not making one little bit of improvement on him. Was able to kick the ball forward. Off hands Houlihan. A beautiful spin out of traffic. Caught with the ball. Took him on. The Dogs on the counter. Can they hurt him? Cross. He's got Barry Hall on and will find him with a lovely kick, and Hall marks.
Great rebound, Dog. Just got to get a goal out of it.
Higgins is there and so is Murphy. Murphy marks. He was looking to play on there as well.
Brilliant running by Robert Murphy, though, from half back to half forward. Sets up a shot at goal for Gilby.
And he does. Gilby's taken the mark and has been paid the free. Cop one high, said Ray Chamberlain.
That's the way to expose Carlton's forwards, Jono. Both half-backs now involved in what should be a goal, a desperately needed goal from the Bulldogs to just get back some momentum.
Well, that's the intensity they showed at the start of the game in the first quarter, and it's only the first time we've seen it.
Last goal at the 22-minute mark of the first quarter for the Dogs. We're now at the 15-minute mark of the second quarter. Lindsay Gilby, very good action, magnificent in game 200. He gets a real important one for the Dogs.
It is an important one for the Western Bulldogs, considering they've given 2 easy goals away in this quarter through 50-metre penalties, which they'd be very disappointed about. So to get that one back, they need to get a couple more to certainly close the scoreboard and put some more pressure back on the Carlton Football Club. But a great finish by Lindsay Gilby in his 200th game, and he certainly credits that kicking style, or that goal-kicking technique, to the great Brian Taylor.
Oh, yes. So Lindsay Gilby getting it done on that occasion. They need consecutive goals. They haven't been able to do that today, the Western Bulldogs. Have just stopped a run of 4 consecutive Carlton goals. Jones has gone into the ruck. Nice little give by the Blues. Allard at ground level was desperate. Cruiser did really well. How's that for a big man?
Murphy free.
Simpson to that man, Gerard. Excellent play. Bauer goes wide to Scotland. Scotland sees the ruckman Warnock leading at him, decides that's not the target he wants. And now drives it long to the pocket. Waite comes. Got to beat a couple and got it Waite. Higgins couldn't quite get hold of it.
Just having a look at that centre clearance. Picken wasn't actually responsible for Murphy. Cooney was with Murphy. Cooney was the defensive sweeper. Murphy was the defensive sweeper. Cooney on the attacking side. Picken was on his defensive side, and I suspect that's a number of occasions Murphy's got the ball because no one's responsible for him.
There's another left to right slider example as Waite almost kicks it out of bounds on the full. Refused to kick it to the left side of the left goal post. Murphy. Little chip ball back in. Eastonwood immediately wanting to play onto Hudson. I'm not sure of the advantage in that. Maybe the 2-on-1. Grant did well with the shepherd and the give. Higgins takes Judd on. Just got him as well. Left foot kick under pressure though. Higgins knew Judd was on his tail. Henderson and now Thornton.
Well, if the pressure of the Judd chase didn't get him, the pressurised kick did.
Simpson just brings things to a halt. Still plenty of time remaining in this quarter. 10 minutes. Cruiser. He's just going to get better each week. You can see it. Judd, little interesting kick around the corner to Garlett on the knees. Garlett immediately on with a slicing ball to Eddie Betts. Off hands Gilby. Look at the kicking action. Bang! Down the throat across. Magnificent. Cooney hasn't done a lot today. Need him going. All of a sudden, the Dogs with some good foot skills.
They've rebounded off half-back a couple of times really well.
Reid
in this turn to set up a shot at goal. Griffin just 2 touches. They've got to get him and Cooney into the game.
2-on-1. Barry Hall over the top to Thornton. Can he keep it rolling forward? Barry Hall with a magnificent kick from the boundary. He's gold. 2 in a row for the Dogs.
Well, himself and Brett Thornton, I think it was, certainly competed for the mark deep inside the Bulldogs forward 50, as we'll have a look here with Sam Reid kicking in a long ball. Thornton getting back 2-on-1. Mark nearly could be paid, and Barry Hall could have run into an open goal, BT, but decided to dribble one from the boundary line and showed plenty of class in being able to finish that goal. Very nice.
Gee, Brett Ratton will be very disappointed with him getting a goal out the back there with 3 defenders, 2 on him and 1 coming in for the 3rd man up. They should have spoiled that ball out of defence.
Brett Ratton being told something there by the doctor. Would be interested to know who down on the bench is a little suspect, or who out on the ground is a little suspect, but certainly the doctor in consultation directly with Brett Ratton there. You just see him leaving the bench, wanting to know the situation on one of his players out there. Opportunity here for Scotland. Round the corner. Bauer bounced off his chest. Now Markovic's got it all to do. Kept it alive in front. Scotland dragged to the ground. Markovic desperate. Now Boyd's got to do it. He's got to be careful. There is Cooney. Hasn't had a big influence on the game, although he does lead the Dogs in possessions. But they haven't been influential, have they?
He's a run and carry player. We're just not seeing enough of that. Well, at the present time, the biggest problem they've got is Murphy, and it's at the clearances that Cooney's responsible for Murphy most of the time. Looks like now they've traded over and Griffin's going on to Murphy.
Judd. Cross did well with the interception here. Gathers on his not preferred left side. A good ball to Dalhouse. Couldn't mark it. Yaron wearing him like a glove. Got on the end of it, the little man. Hooper. Houlihan falls to ground, and Reid tries to keep it alive out the back to Dalhouse. Dribbles it along the ground. He's decked it. Dogs have got 3 in a row to bring this one back within 8 points for the Dogs.
Well, Jared is a crowd favourite, isn't he? He's young Dalhouse.
Where you been hiding him, Jono?
Well, he was on the rookie list, got elevated, and he's from the footy factory down in Geelong, BT.
Yes,
I understand.
Geelong Falcons.
And since he brings up energy and spark, and the players love that, and he was able to capitalise there with a pretty smart goal out of a contested area.
Good to get an old man out of that forward pocket, BT, and get a bit of young energy, a bit of spirit in the place.
Oh, well, we've got the old man sitting up here with us now, and we've got the energetic new heartthrob of the western suburbs, Dalhouse. Out of the factory, Mickey Turner style. Here's cross, intercepted by his direct number. Gibbs to Simpson. Simpson running onto his wrong side. Would like to get back on the left. Little chipping ball, though, is very, very impressive to Bauer. And Bauer's taken a mark within range. He plays on immediately. This is not within range for Gibbs. Gibbs now a short ball, and able to intercept it as Markovic. The Dogs on a bit of a roll here. Higgins inside of the attacking Griffin. Funny little kick, wasn't it? Grant had to be tidy. I reckon he hurried the handball. A little bit of poise was needed then from Grant. He didn't need to give that. And a double tackle on Bauer results in a ball up.
They've worked their way back in. It's been a really good fight back from the Bulldogs. And you can just see the energy for the tackle. He's right back in their game. Just got a bit loose in the first 10 minutes of this term.
Matthew Nichols, a prolific high bouncer of the ball, not unlike the former Matty James. Now runner for the Hawthorn Footy Club, marked by Dygan in the middle. Gives it off to Laidler. He says, come at me. And he does in the end. Walker could have almost got a free. Scotland ripped off the ball. Pick, and here they go again. Easton Wood needs a good kick here. Gian Syracuse read it magnificently. What's he got? Barry turns the corner. Here comes Hall with the big double jukes. Couldn't get it. Off hands Laidler. Was he pulled down, Barry? Henderson now. As Hall gives away a professional free there. Murphy, Joseph, and now Scotland. Tom Williams will arrive late. Lucky not to get, he's got the 50. There's the third 50 of the quarter that could result in the third direct goal from a Western Bulldogs 50.
A bit stiff at the moment, Jono, the Dogs. I thought Barry Hall might have got himself a free kick.
Well, I'm not exactly sure what the free kick count is, but I'm certainly not going to get caught up in that. The third 50-metre penalty, that's what they'll be disappointed with.
Williams there, though. He was in two minds. I don't reckon he ever thought he could make the contest. Scotland comes in and lucky for the Dogs misses. And it was almost like he was caught. Do I or don't I? He made a late decision to go, which made him late, if you know what I mean.
Yep. You see it there.
Scotland hadn't even hit the deck.
He's still in the air.
Still in the air. It's pretty rough, that one. Murphy. Good run here by the Dogs.
That is a high quality but high risk kick from Robert Murphy. He made it look so easy.
Dogs have got some numbers here. Hudson ended up spoiling his own man. Quite proud of his effort, Big Hutto there, but probably let Higgins mark it.
A different setup now. You've got Higgins and Yarran. Previously they had defenders on Yarran, now they've got an attacker.
Boyd sees Hooper down the line, couldn't get it to him. Now Thornton, handball wide to Scotland. Dyken was always going to be under the pump. Judd will clean this one up, and have a look at that. Talk about open them up. Got it to Gibbs. Dalhouse runs him down.
Great pass.
Incorrect disposal, surely. Umpire said he got the handball away.
He got boot to it.
Fair enough. Gibbs on to Houlihan. And now looking for Simpson and Cross. Dogs with some big numbers here. Should clear. They do. Griffin shakes off the big fella Warnock and Pick and finds Jones. Dalhouse is free. Gian Siracusa has led just a little too early, but it's going to be honoured. Tried to mark it on the chest, gave Joseph the opportunity to punch it away.
And here's the Gibbs. Well, yeah, he did it well. Getting his boot to it, creating effect disposal. Did he throw it up? Yeah, that's the question. But
you are allowed to throw it up as long as you kick it. You're not allowed to throw it up and handball it, of course. But you can throw the ball high and kick it, I'm sure.
You can,
yep.
But that was interesting because he did try to handball.
Yeah, he did. In the end, he made contact with the boot. Quite right. There's Reid overrunning it. Ward. That is lovely hands by Ward. Committed contest. Getting a little more physical here at the moment, the Dogs. Cross. Eddie Betts said, give me a go. Reid went banging in. Eddie says, I'll get this out for you. Have a look at this. Did well. Eddie Betts.
Talk about the intensity lifting here for the Bulldogs. 20 to 12 tackles for the quarter in favour of the Dogs.
And this is Callum Ward's second effort in that bit of play. Was it in the back? Play on, I think.
Well, it's just the clean hands coming through under enormous pressure. Houlihan, who has been iffy with his disposals today. Reid picks it up and bangs it high with a spiral. He's got every bit of that. Thornton's touched it right on the line. Spiral out of the pack from Reid. Thornton just getting there.
Good job.
Metre to spare in the meantime. Interception here by Gilby on the Allard kick. Hall gave the fadeaway handball out wide, looking for Cooney. Cooney straightens up. Good looking ball to Gian Siracusa. Knocked out of the contest by a desperate Thornton, I think it was there.
That's the sort of stuff when Cooney gets the ball that drags Murphy over to Cooney, who looks like he's with him at this stage, to be much more defensively minded.
Brett Ratton on his feet as this one gets tight. 8-point lead for the Blues. Robinson, Houlihan. Bauer, Gilby doing well. Cooney's handball, he knew the moment he gave it that it was going to be intercepted back inside to Cruiser, now out to Judd. Judd's got an opportunity down here with Walker, one-on-one with Williams. Once again, Williams draws the contact, didn't give away the free kick. Murphy avoids all. Well done, Rob Murphy.
He did really well. He left his own opponent. He was responsible for Simpson there. Left him 30 metres. Their backline was naked in many ways because of it.
Easton Wood to open them up. Got to go. Hooper did.
Needs to get the ground level ball. Desperate knock to Ward. He gets through a couple. Have a look at this from the Dogs. Great play. Now Cooney can run and kick. Something he does well. Looking for Gian Syracusa. He gets it near the boundary. Keeps it alive. Hall through traffic. Griffin can go off the ground. Did he get it? I reckon it's come off his boot. Ray Chamberlain said, let's have a listen.
It's all clear a goal.
So it's all clear a goal from Ryan Griffin in the end. And the Dogs have now kicked 4 in a row. Remarkable stuff to get it back within 2 points.
Another head clash there to Griffin, but he got up in time to get on the end of that work. And Cooney's just such a better player, Jono, when he is running with the football. He's in space and he attacks. Now everybody has to go when they have to go inside, but he has been going inside so many times that he's been in this term, in the first term I should say, less effective.
Correct call there from Ray Chamberlain. Let's go to Liam Pickering. A sub has been activated.
Yeah, Jared Waite out of the side here off the ground for Carlton, and Russell's the player that's the sub tonight. Now, I didn't see actually what happened to him, but I'll keep an eye on. Just have a chat with the doctors at half-time and find out. He's gone off about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I think early in the quarter when the doctor was talking to Brett Ratton, that's exactly what he was talking about.
I did see Waite limp in the first quarter.
Yeah, well, he was getting some work at quarter time, and now that all makes sense.
They'll have to restructure their forward line now.
Yeah, they will. Here go the Dogs again. Higgins around the corner. Any ideas of what you might do down there, Pickers, as Grant picks up the ball, kicks it around the corner, keeps it alive? What do you think, Pickers?
Well, I'd keep to the small forward line, but I don't mind Cruiser pushing down there, because that's the one area the Dogs have really lifted. Their little forwards have been terrific in this quarter, Dalhouse and Hooper.
I'll tell you who else have been, the half-back line. They have rebounded really well. Murphy, Gilby. I think Williams is having a game.
Oh, good game of footy here. Gibbs. Back into the Middle Eastern Wood. Gotta like it when he gets it. He just dashes and goes. Carlton got some numbers back here. Henderson just says to his teammate, there's another 50. The fourth, if this is the 50, which it is, Ray's given 3 of them. It will be the 4th 50 in the quarter that the Dogs have given away. Remarkable.
Coming into this match, Andrew Walker was, I think most people would have him penciled in as an All-Australian forward pocket. He's been that dominant. Certainly he'd be a candidate.
Leading goal kicker for the Blues.
He's had 1 possession, or 1 kick, I should say. He's had 3 possessions. Had no real influence whatsoever. And unusual matchup, but an effective one. Tom Williams.
Cruiser.
The other player for the Blues is Cade Simpson, who now, because Murphy was so good on Picken, he's got Pickett in his back pocket probably for the rest of this game.
Markovic. Closing stages here of the half. Minute and a half to go. Higgins in the air. Laidler did well with the defensive punch. And Ward just making Simpson earn it.
There's just a little bit of spice about the Dogs in the last 15 minutes.
Have a listen to Razor. Ray just all over that. Boundary umpire slinging it back into play. Boyd. Another contest. Laidler will get there, or Willie. Hooper, Yaron, and Laidler. In the end, it was the smooth-moving Yaron with a degree of difficulty kick around the corner of 10.
He's having his own influence, is the skipper, Boyd. He's had a couple of pretty handy clearances in this term as well.
12 touches for the game. Second highest possession getter for the Dogs is Boyd, and here he is again. Nimble through traffic. Dumped there by Hooper. Couldn't get the clean possession. Cooney on to Boyd. Boyd around the corner with a high ball. Thornton will get back and take a sliding mark. Almost a monumental collision between he and Dalhouse. Gee, that's tough. Not 15. So shorter than that paid. Bauer. Eddie Betts. Lunging attempt by Morris. And Eddie indicating, just stick it out in front of me. I'll lead this guy to the ball. With a little finger there, just... Crowd getting their money's worth here on a Sunday evening. Judd going to ground, but still had the awareness to be able to peel the handball off to Gibbs. Murphy through some traffic, just miskicked it a little.
Tom Williams did it actually quite well then. Able to corral Carlton's movement.
Here's Ward. 10 seconds left. Dogs are the only one can score from here, you would think. Hudson's got it on the wing. Siren's going to sound, so there'll be no further score added to it. The Blues in that quarter kicked the first 4 goals. Then the Dogs came back with 4 of their own. And at half-time, we have got a ripping game for you. Both of these mobs going at it real hard. Carlton lead it by 2 points. 6-9-45 to the Dogs, 6-7-43 on the other side of the break. Jared and Jono will talk this one over. Yes, welcome back to Etihad Stadium. Look at that for a magnificent shot of this sensational arena. Roof closed today, pouring rain outside as we speak. Great game going on inside this arena. It was a 3-point margin in Carlton's favour at quarter time. It's a 2-point half-time margin for the Blues.
And just looking at the numbers, BT, I guess we highlighted Carlton's dominance at the centre of the contested possession. From the 8-minute mark of the second quarter, the Dogs are +6 contested possession. So they turned that round on its head. And the other thing, Jono, that went up significantly in that term was their cleanliness by foot. Their efficiency went up to 65%, and the Blues dramatically plummeted.
Well, that's the major one, and that's the stat that needs to keep going in the right direction for both sides.
Let's get down to Pickers.
Yeah, like the Blues will need to restructure their forward line now with Jared Wade out of business. But looking out there now, Warnock started in the forward line. I expect to see a lot more of Cruiser in the second half playing forward.
All right, well, here we go. A 2-point margin here. A cracking contest we've got. Third quarter. Live exclusive on Fox Sports. Twilight football. Carlton and the Dogs. Dogs looking to get within 2 points of the 8. Outright third position on offer here for the Blues with a win for them today. And umpire Ray Chamberlain puts it down in the middle. And a free kick off the ball for a hold. Judd's got it. Driving ball inside 50. Warnock's got the sit over the back. Oh, he looked out of some sort of timing there. Went a little too early, Jared.
Yes, it's hard to see him taking mark of the year based on that run-up. On top of his head, I think, is the go, so we can just put the big hands in the air. Don't rely on him taking the big hanger.
Stay with us here, because this game has had right from the start a point of interest in it, and that we think it's going to be very, very close.
Let's just try and get a wide shot. Interested in Robbie Warnock comes out, and there he is on the other side of the ground, on the far side of the ground. He's taken his man right out of it, but he's taken himself right out. And they've got...
He has. He's not in a dangerous position at all there, is he? Markovic's with him at the moment, just to the left of pitch. You can't quite see it here. And they've got a... There he is, just on the left there.
And it is interesting too, because he's not... If the Bulldogs get it out and around and get some overlap going to the fat side of the ground, he's not going to be able to impact that as well through leg speed.
No, he's going to be caught in the middle, isn't he? Here's Gibbs, gives it off to Murphy. Time to straighten, tough angle. Slid the handball back to Betts, caught in the tackle. Dogs have come out, switched on again. Pickin.
Yeah, pressure's been brilliant down there.
Grant, Laidler there as well. Thornton should have got a free and does off Jones. Gave away 4 50-metre penalties in the second quarter, the Dogs. Thornton on the wing. Ball in favour of Boa.
And what the Bulldogs have done, BT, is release. Reid was trying to go to Yarran for the whole first half, trying to create a bit of a run around with Laidler as well. Dalhouse has been quite competitive, so they've allowed him to go one-on-one with Yarran.
Knocked down, went straight to Cooney off the front. He took a risk, though, by kicking into the midfield, and hasn't paid off as Dygan's got on the end of it. Gives it off to Yarran, an expert by foot, and he went low, and Judd knew immediately he was going to have to go down low to reap the reward. He does, and he goes out wide now here. An opportunity for the Blues again, so they start to work the ball forward here. And what have they got in terms of a presenting forward? Bauer offers something, that's ignored. He goes long to Warnick, punched away there by Markovic in, and the resultant tackle as well. Judd, did he throw it? Got a hand to it. Boyd, sneaky ball. Higgins on the counter. Can they break the press? Griffin trying to run a hole through it. Dalhouse, tiny little steps, unnecessary handball. Griffin keeps it alive, got it out wide, but Dygan gathers. 70 out for the Blues. High ball, inside it goes. Gibbs at the back, couldn't hold the mark. Picken did well. Really well done by Picken. And now the Dogs to relieve pressure. Dygan, cross just says, get it out of here.
And that's all they've done, though. They've kicked it blindly out of here, and it keeps on coming back here.
Yaron wide. Simpson had it taken away. Murphy grabs. He can goal from here. He's near the boundary line. Goes for home. A steering ball by Murphy. Touched right on the line by Williams.
Well, that's exactly what West Coast were able to do to Geelong on Friday night. Just keep pressing Geelong. Just keep bombing the ball out. Carlton doing exactly the same thing to the Bulldogs in the early part of this third quarter.
Oh, cracking pace on in this game at the moment. Higgins.
Haven't got it past the centre yet, the Dogs.
They haven't. Here's Grant with an opportunity. Got a nice bouncing ball. Went underground with a kick. That was incredibly creative. Got to Gian Syracuse. Took a bounce. 40, 30. Closing kick to Hooper. He'll run into the open goal. Can you believe it? The Dogs have hit the front early in the third quarter.
One inside 50 for the Dogs. They kick a goal. Carlton have gone in 5 times. They've kicked one behind.
Yeah, they're able to get it through here. Yeah, Jared. And
have a look at this kick here. Deliberately underneath the player.
Yeah, Laidlaw just made a big blue there. He just had to punch that ball, had to destroy it over the boundary line, but he let it get in behind. And that was fatal for the Dogs. Sorry, for the Blues.
First time they've been in front, the Dogs, with the exception of the first couple of minutes of the game when they kicked the first goal. And it is a rampant Dogs who have now kicked 5 in a row. Hooper getting hold of that one. His first this year. Out of the middle. Judd. Garlett. Simpson again running onto his wrong right side. He's done well though, given the fact he is a left footer. Seems to be running to the wrong flank at times. Free kick will go the way of the Dogs to Tom Williams. A hold, says Ray Chamberlain.
Is this Tom Williams' best game for the Bulldogs, John?
Certainly best game that I've seen this year. I've seen Tom play a few good games, but just his marking ability and his competitiveness today has been the standout.
I've never seen him mark in the air like he has today. He's always been a puncher, John, and all of a sudden he seems to have the confidence that he can grab it.
He's on Bauer at the moment, but he has been with Walker. And he hasn't had any goals kicked on him.
He did start on weight too, Jared.
Yep.
That marked him 2 or 3 times.
Murphy.
He's got his own footy out there at the moment.
Here's Williams again. He gathered it nicely in front. It was really well done. Betts got on the end of it. Robinson around on the left boot. Needs an incredibly good bounce. Won't get it.
They've reshuffled this midfield too. Griffin's gone to Murphy. And Picken's gone to Gibbs, who had 20 touches in the first half.
Over the back, Warnock knocks it down. Here's Murphy. Cutting a hole through centre half back. A chiselling ball to Barry Hall. Hall's going to mark, got both hands on it, couldn't get it done. Laidlaw. Incredibly good pick up by Laidlaw. Over to Yaron, just brushes the tackle. Forced to kick wide to Dygan. Dygan's got the runner Simpson in front. A beautifully measured kick by Dygan, who heads straight for the pine. In the meantime, Simpson advances the ball inside 50 with a high ball. Bowyer up there, couldn't quite get it. Little handball off comes to Judd. Left foot kick around the corner. Gibbs in front, knocked away again. Ward, the runner Griffin, takes a bounce, gets around one, or has he? Bit off a little more than he can handle there. Gian Syracuse waiting for help. Somehow got a handball on it.
Great game.
It is. Pace is a cracker. A lot of mistakes. Jones, Houlihan now, and a momentary opportunity for Carlton to breathe, and then all of a sudden Robinson was pounced on with a tackle.
Yeah, it was a hospital handball though, wasn't it? He was right under the pump. Brian Houlihan had the ball, he wheeled around. And sometimes you've just got to ignore what you do instinctively at training. You've got to make a conscious decision. Don't give the first give. Give the first attacking and advantage give.
Funny little handball from Robinson out the back door. And now Thornton forced to kick down the line for safety. In front was Hudson over the back. Look at the Dogs players here. A whole host of them. Tom Williams has set the task to pick it up and had no trouble centering the kick to cross. Tell you what, the moment, they look in control of the game, the Dogs. Remarkable turnaround.
Well, their tackling is probably at its best for the season, and their running, Jono, I think, is at its best for the season against a quality opposition.
This is where the challenge is for the Bulldogs, though. When they do get slowed up like this, it generally doesn't result in a positive score.
Robinson went down on one knee to mark that one. Couldn't quite get it done. Jones, Robinson again in there working hard. Great little give by Robinson. Adler around the corner. Great mark taken by Ward. Coming back with the flight. Goes inside 50, high ball. Off hands. Thornton could have nearly got a free there. Probably should have. Yaron tries to take it away. Did well. Russell's been activated, as was mentioned before. He was the original sub. Robinson's head is ground into the deck. And a free kick for the Blues.
You know, Jared Wade has been taken from the ground, got some groin injuries, but their main issue is Walker's had 3 possessions, Garlett's had 5, both of them haven't contributed a goal, and Eddie Betts has had just 7 possessions, he's kicked 1 goal, he's got it behind.
I'll tell you who, 2 players who haven't figured high on the stats sheet are Dalhouse and Hooper for the Dogs, but I reckon since they put so much pressure on the Carlton defence, they've got no rebound at all, the Blues, at the moment.
And it's the reverse at the other end of the ground. That's not a great kick, I don't think.
No, you're right, Jared, out on the full.
So the pressure that the Dogs have applied across the ground is starting to weigh on the efficiency of the Blues.
Griffin blasted away. He was actually looking for Gian Siracusa, and in the end missed him by a fair way. So let's see how they work their way through here, the Blues. Houlihan forced to kick it long to Cruiser, but it was a 3-on-1 there for Cruiser.
Well, he was unlucky. He probably would have marked it. Matty Boyd did come off the bench at the right time.
So Warnock into the fray in the ruck. He's got a couple of spares on his left-hand side. He misses the tap. He should be dominating those taps.
Judd came on from the bench as well. It was only Ward that stepped in between him and the ball. Gee, have a look at the do on Ward. He's got a sort of a bit of a almost royal touch.
That's why he fitted in so well in the Rock of Ages.
Oh yeah, he just looks like he's made for the Rock of Ages. Kellen Ward with that hair, the bouffant.
Geez, there was a big missed opportunity there. Adam Kearney went straight through. He's with Chris Judd, and Kearney attacked now. Kearney blocks for Boyd.
Higgins. Kearney sharp with the hands.
We're on top of these stoppages now.
Boyd takes Judd on. Scotland gets back into the hole nicely. A little bit of a hesitation about he and Laidler who would get it. The Blues come out wide. Intercepted by Picken. Markovic driving high ball. Barry Hall closing. By the way, Barry's kicked 2 today and he's gone into 19th position on the all-time goal kickers list, passing Dick Lee. The 19th all-time goals kicked, Barry Hall, in that position as a result of his 2 goals today. Jones in front held his ground nicely.
You mentioned the bouffant of Kellen Ward. I'll tell you right now, he's so clean as a player, BT. He's playing really well for the Dogs.
Yeah, indeed he is. Grand off hands.
The other thing that's really noticeable at the stoppages, we know Carlton dominated in the first quarter a bit, but they're now hitting these every clearance at pace, whether it's Ward or Kearney or Boyd. So they've got to stop the run at them. They're actually starting to get on top in that area.
Shane O'Sullivan copying the heat there from Brett Ratton. Just wanting to update the ball. Oh, nice vision there. There is Murphy with a nice stroke ball down towards Thornton, who's gone forward, and that's 50. That'll be another 50. Gee, they've got a let off there. That is probably the most obvious out of them all.
Yeah, you're right, BT. They certainly missed that one.
Well, it's an interesting move. They've got to find a winner up forward because at the moment they're getting slaughtered up in defence.
He does kick goals when he goes there. Quite often Thornton. Sharp hands by Jones. Now Griffin. The penetrating kick is magnificent to Higgins. He can run and deliver to Cooney at full speed.
That's his best.
Plays on. Fluency at its best for the Dogs. Sizzling playoff halfback.
That's when he's at his best, and that's when the Dogs are at their best. Getting that ball out of defence, it was an average kick in. Created no real opportunity for the forwards.
This kick here by Higgins, Jared. I know you'd love this. Adam Cooney did not break stride.
No, but the work he had to do to get there, Jono, tells you that he's hungry.
Well, we've seen a little bit of it last week against the D's, or a lot of it actually. He got his run and spark back, and a fit and firing Adam Cooney is what the Dogs will be looking for in the second half of the season.
Adam Cooney with just some of his best running, smooth, classical, classy stuff. The Blues off Walker, gathers, long run, good ball inside 50. Betts got to get back. Morris did well.
There are some at Champion Data BT that think 6 goals in a row is the magical figure. If you kick 6 in a row at any stage in the game,
you win.
You win 90% of the time.
Well, they've got 6 in a row as we speak, the Dogs. Carlton have not kicked a goal since the 8-minute mark of the second quarter.
And they've kicked 6 of their goals from rebounds off that half-back line. 6 out of 8.
Good going. Here is Murphy. He's trying to find a way through, get it into the hands of this man, and something is likely to happen. Yaron. Just a little bit too far in front of Houlihan. Houlihan wanted Simpson to present up at him, but Simpson did well with the bodywork in the end.
They might have to start thinking about pushing some others forward, Jono, because the three amigos are getting a nice old spanking at the present time.
They've thrown Thornton forward, obviously, in this quarter, and Walker's gone up the ground a little bit more.
The boundary throwing didn't go towards the middle of the ground. It went towards the attacking 50 for the Blues. Here's Garland. Scotland was just hoping something was out the back then. Boyd has a bit of a peep now. Got to go here, Hooper. And he's got himself a free against Houlihan. The run. Got to go quick. He does now. Dalhouse and Jiran Siracusa. Dalhouse hands on it, takes a nice mark. Barry Hall presents, he demands the ball too high. Up they go, Henderson did well, although Hall's gloved it somehow.
Well, they've turned this game on its head, the Bulldogs. They've gone from being dominated at clearances and contested possession to effectively in this quarter really doing exactly the opposite. They are the ones winning the clearances, and their run off the back line has been first class.
Well, Barry Hall strengthening the contest was what was needed then, because as we see in the bottom of the screen, Dalhouse just chipped it up high. He had Ryan Griffin running back towards the goal square.
For his 709th career goal, Barry Hall directly in front, no problems at all. 7 Dog goals in a row. The Blues need to react very, very quickly.
Not sure where the reaction's going to come from, BT, whether you can move the magnets. It was a tough one, that decision. But irrespective of that, they've got some bigger issues, because the forward line remains the same with the exclusion of Wade. He's out. We know that Thornton's gone down there, but they've had that before. It's the blokes at ground level.
Well, what have they got in the middle? Let's have a look. They've got Judd. Obviously, Cruz is doing the right work. Gibbs. Who's the other one? Is it Houlihan? Robinson. So they've got 3 pretty hard-at-it players. They need a stoppage clearance here, and they don't get it. Hudson just ripped it out of the ruck. Advance it to Jones. Now Gibbs. Judd running and working hard wide. Around the corner in favour of Murphy, who just pushes off his man. Picken did well, though. And now who gets it? Umpire said he handballed it out in front, and he was tackled after that. Picking down the line. Once again, Jones in the air. Couldn't get hold of it. Yaron. Linking handball. Need to find something out of the middle here, the Blues. Once again, they go to a Murphy contest in the air. Picken was able to punch it away. He's just full on at it, Picken, isn't he? Absolutely do anything at all.
Murphy was good then.
Over the top to Robinson. Bit of clear space inside if he wants to go there. He elected not to Simpson. Got a finish. 48. He finishes to lift the Blues out of their seats here at Etihad Stadium.
Well, Jared, I'm sure the replay will pick it up, but Mark Murphy out on centre wing. Look, Picken did a fantastic sprawl. Thought the ball was going to go out of play. They both battle hard at it, we see here. And look at that strength by Murphy through the core area, able to stand up and then get the handball out to Gibbs, over to Robinson with a very good finish.
I just reckon Robinson had it written all over his face there. He said, look, we need a goal. No one else appears to be able to kick one. I might have needed to give the handball, but I'm going to take this on my own shoulders and kick the goal for the club.
Yeah, I think he also made a decision that there was an option, but Cooney was coming in close. He did. He took the responsibility. The other issue is that they've pushed Mark Murphy forward, so he's going to have to win it in the middle, but maybe win it for them as a small forward.
Love his work, Robinson. In the meantime, the Dogs on the attack again. Here's an opportunity for Hooper. Little left foot kick around the corner. Ryan Griffin down low. Takes a wonderful mark. Only Ryan Griffin could have marked that ball. So good was the kick and so protected the drop of the ball. Zone.
Ben Hudson's doing some real good work in the middle of the ground, boys, too.
You're right, Pickers. His last couple have been able to get clear ball out of the ruck.
Look at that.
And get it on the foot.
Took the defender completely out of that marking contest with that kick. Ryan Griffin, powerful kick.
Well, he will hook this one with his step out, PT.
Runs out and then it swings back a little bit more. A little tail on it again, even though he is a right to left worker of the ball. Jeddah.
Yeah, I saw it, BT, with my own eyes.
Well, when he runs out 90 degrees on the right, of course he's going to kick it left, but it's going to be a hard battle, this one, to win, but I'm going to get some
You need an aeronautical engineer.
Historical evidence for you.
There's blokes at NASA now looking for a job, BT. Get them over here.
We're going to whack it on couch, and I'm going to convince you at some stage. If I ever get on there again. Over the line, out of bounds.
See the runner out talking to Jordan Russell, who was activated.
Don't you laugh, Jono. You took the seat, did you not, the other week? Or?
I did, yeah. Had a go in there.
Yeah, well, anyway, Cruiser.
You disappointed?
No, not at all.
Right.
There's Dalhouse. And he didn't make much of an effort there.
Cade Simpson's pushed forward as well. I mean, Brett Ratton knows his forward line's totally dysfunctional at the present time. They're getting it inside enough, but it's getting rebounded way too easily.
Scotland caught in a good Higgins tackle. Somehow he let go of the ball. I'm not sure that he handballed it or kicked it. Cooney disappointed in the decision, or the non-decision. And Scotland's hurt his right leg here. Behind the knee or calf.
We'll afford to lose him. He's been one of their better players today.
Just got twisted in the tackle a little bit.
Dalhouse, sneaky little kick. Henderson.
It's got Warnock who's run pretty clear. I mean, Jones just needs to, I guess, with experience, get better at that. Go from attack to defence in the brain pretty much quicker than he did then.
Made a little Digan. Digan out wide. There is Joseph. To Laidler.
This is a good old-fashioned kick from the 70s. Just get it into there.
Gilby got a really ordinary bounce. He now reached the benefits, although the kick was just a little panicky. He didn't have a lot of time to think about it, and Gilby has had a collision here, and he looks rather uncomfortable with the result of it. Gibbs couldn't hold the mark. Lots of Dogs in the end. Gilby still down on all fours in the background here. Here's Ward, the run of Picken. You can see Gilby just getting back to his feet now. The Dogs go inside 50 again. Jones, a bounce, had to wait. Went out wide. Here's the little young man in Hooper again. Grabs it, sends it along the ground. Needs a good bounce, didn't get it. Out of bounds in the end. Gilby in the hands of the trainers, looking a little uncomfortable as you see this collision here. The heads collide. Ouch.
Both players, great courage.
How good's that?
Jake Landsberger, the doctor, up.
Cooney, left foot around the body. Has it gone across the face? It has. I thought he'd kicked it.
And Pickers Bulldogs have activated their sub.
Yeah, Sam Reed's come off the ground, so he's out of the game now, and Josh Hill, giving a little bit of run, is on the ground for the Western Bulldogs. Not sure whether Reed's injured or not. Certainly didn't see anything. Maybe it was just that time for a bit more run.
Jeez, they're under siege, the Blues, and they just haven't been able to find a way forward.
No, and there's Jones again, going to lock it in this forward end. I'd love to know the forward end times in this quarter because it appears the Dogs have owned about 80% of it. Kick goes back, did well to work into the contest. Hall kept it alive, gave it to Higgins. Anything can happen here. High ball, Ward centres himself.
He's paid it.
Did he drop it? Or has he been paid the mark? The Carlton players are furious. Scotland said it hit the ground.
Well, whatever it was good work by Barry Hall to keep it in, and then a really dangerous centering kick.
Have a look at this. Got it there, let it go, and that's dropped. That's a clear drop. And the Carlton players are right, and this is going to be costly. The bouffant hairdo of Ward is going to come in and nail the goal for the Dogs. Oh boy, wowee. Scotland looks for the replay on the big board, but that ain't going to help now.
And it was this bit of play here, as you mentioned, Jared. Umpire in great position. And a disciplined kick by Sean Higgins. And the Bulldogs get away with one there.
Well, they didn't get a lot of luck early in the game, Jono, did they? The Dogs that ran against them, and just a little bit of luck there for them. Sees them back out to a 17-point lead.
I think you mentioned Josh Hill. He pushed back really hard to make a contest where it looked like a Carlton mark. So, and then obviously Higgins squared the ball up. A really good play by Josh Hill. Just come off the bench.
Brett Ratton right on the bench there, right into this game. He's riding every bump there.
Well, he's going to be a loser today unless they can find a forward who can kick a goal. They've been inside 12 times in this quarter.
I have a feeling they can get it together, Jared. I don't know why. Perhaps it's just the season as a whole that they've played well and they'll find a way to get out of this. But
well, they've had 60 more possessions, Carlton, than the Western Bulldogs. Up to nearly 300 possessions, but just no real quality from the Blues tonight so far.
Lindsay Gilbey just gathering himself on the bench. Reid with the substitute red vest on. He's gone for the day. No further part. Here's Walker fighting for the ball. Murphy got one high and he'll get a free. Judd's got the advantage. Goes inside. Here's an opportunity to Robinson on the lead. Beautiful play by Chris Judd. Nice commitment by Murphy.
Well, they've rotated Robinson and Murphy. Murphy was deep forward. He's gone onto the ball. Robinson now resting up forward. But it's been their backline. And the Bulldogs' backline have been absolutely superb today, both in rebounding and creating goals and restricting Carlton, one of Carlton's great strengths. The coach said pre-match, really happy with his forward line, and justifiably so. But
for Carlton's second goal of the quarter and Robinson's second goal of the quarter, he's directly in front, 45 metres out. Another real important shot at goal. They're not getting a lot, the Blues, and Williams goes straight for the ball bag as he kicks it behind. Okay, Williams actually took the ball out of the bag while it was still in mid-air then, so he now has to go back and replace it and get the original ball.
It's his only mistake for the match.
Yeah.
Clean.
It is interesting. You just cannot grab the ball out of the bag until the other one, we've seen the result of it. Yeah. Tom Williams makes two mistakes in a row, the ball out of the bag and the ball out of bounds on the full.
Picked the wrong ball.
Warnock.
Cruz is the man. They've just got to find a way to get a mark inside 50.
Well, it's coming his direction now. Hudson in front goes for the punch. Defensively to the boundary and is successful.
You've got to take your hat off to Rob Murphy. He's kept Garlett to one possession so far in this game. Did the job last week or this quarter.
2 minutes left in the quarter. Dogs have got it in their defensive 50 at the moment. Here comes Simpson dashing through on the left. That'll be a team lifter. Simpson from a big angle. With a minute 47 left, gets him back within 10 points.
He was one of the first moves. Simpson into the forward line. As you said, Jono, Garlett with less than half a dozen possessions for the game. Hasn't been able to deliver. Walker's been covered, so they've tried to find a goal kicker. And so far this term, it's been Robinson with one from the midfield, and it's been Simpson who's been pushed up the ground. And Garlett now, he's out on the wing. Simpson's taken his spot forward.
Still like the Blues here, Gerald. I know they're down by 10 and getting near the end of the third, but as you say, they haven't played well.
But that's been the game, hasn't it? It's been the Blues dominating early, then the Bulldogs. In almost every quarter, both sides have had a run.
Biggest margin of the day was 27 points in favour of the Blues in the middle part of that second quarter. Other than that, it's been nothing more than 1 or 2 goals in it for most of the day. Jones, handball. I don't know whether it was meant for Higgins, but it found him. Here is Dalhouse. 60 metres out, Dalhouse. Nice little ball out in front of Hooper. Hooper takes him on, gathers, got the kick and the goal. Dogs back out to a 16-point margin. Clever from Hooper.
What would please Rodney Eade, Jared, with that is Jones involved, to Higgins, who's the senior type, to Dalhouse, to Hooper for a goal.
Well, he'd love this. He'd love the pace as well. There's the kick. He was smart, but gee, I'll tell you what, Hooper works so hard, and the pace of the Bulldogs up forward. And I reckon the Bulldogs had a reputation, John, as being a quick team last year before. Weren't so quick of foot speed, they were quick with ball movement. Right now with these little fellows that they've introduced, they've all of a sudden got a little bit of speed back across the ground.
The little men are back in footy too, aren't they?
They are.
Guys like Hooper.
Well, it was about organised chaos in the past for the Bulldog forwards, and they've got a little bit of that back with such young movement, such small movement back in that area of the ground.
Hooper and Blair, of course, is one that comes to mind. The little meatball up at Gold Coast, Dion Prestia, is another. The little men are back in footy. The big men are back in terms of the long bombed contest and the contested marks and traits that we all love about footy coming back into the game for the first time in about 10 or 15 years.
Hudson's been enormous in this quarter for the Dogs. I know he's been sadly out of form, but he's back in having a real impact in this game.
Yeah, I reckon he might have had his papers stamped about 6 or so weeks ago. Will Minson was the favoured ruckman, but all of a sudden he's come back.
Ward went through without success for the Dogs. Now Scotland will be happy with the ball up here as he and Cooney wrestle off the ball, and Cooney's got him in a headlock. He's going for the forward suplex as well to finish it off. Couldn't quite get it to work.
Figure 4 leg lock.
Yeah. Have a look at how high umpire Matthew Nichols bounces the ball.
Higgins dangerous.
Hudson again. Let's get back and have a bit of a dash at it. We're down to the last 38 seconds. A goal here for the Blues would be very, very intriguing indeed. Jeff Garlett says, I'm going to go out wide to a vacant Murphy. 30 seconds and counting here. The Blues down by 16 points. Desperate need of a goal. Handball come out. Too much on it there for Joseph. Too much on the handball. 20 seconds. You would think the Blues are the only one that can score in the last 20 here.
Dogs pushing some numbers back to clog up the forward line here for Carlton.
Ratton, some instructions from the bench. They know the runner's been out to them. Russell, the sub, sold some foot candy. A mark needed here for the Blues. A high ball, they go in. Josh Hill got a fist on it. Here comes Simpson. Got 6 seconds. If he can get around the left, he dishes the handball. Caught in the tackle. Gone. Free kick Dogs. They survive. An attack late from the Blues. Mitch Robinson kicked the goal in that quarter, so did Simpson. But unfortunately for them, so did 5 Western Bulldogs players. The Dogs at three-quarter time have turned a 2-point halftime deficit into a 16-point lead. Stay with us on Fox Sports. We have got a cracker that's going right to the wire. Jones, now Griffin. The penetrating kick is magnificent to Higgins. He can run and deliver to Cooney at full speed. Marks, plays on, fluency at its best for the Dogs. Sizzling playoff halfback. Yes, three-quarter time here in the Western Bulldogs remarkably lead it by 16 points with a blistering third quarter in which they kicked 5 goals. 11-9-75 to the Blues, 8-11-59. The Western Bulldogs 16-point lead. Let's get down to Pickers at the boundary.
Yeah, great third quarter there by the Western Bulldogs. I've been really impressed since halfway through that second quarter when they've really lifted their intensity and certainly their defensive pressure inside the forward 50 and run off halfback outstanding. They've been marking the ball inside forward 50, 9-4 for the game. So the Blues, for them to get back in this game, and really the momentum's with the Dogs at the moment, they really need to try and find some marking power inside forward 50. We know they've lost weight. They need to be a bit better than that in the last quarter, otherwise you'd see the Dogs winning this game.
Yeah, well, Brett Thornton, Pickers, seems to be the one that they may be able to go to in terms of some marking power. They've thrown Bauer down there for certain periods of the game as well, BT.
I think it's Cruiser, though. As much as he's a young bloke and he's only been back for a few games post the knee operation, him and Warnock, I don't think, have had the influence on this game that coming here you expected. Two of the better young ruckmen in the competition, and they just have not been involved on the scoreboard. Yes, they've had their taps around the ground, but I guess, BT, you look at those two and you think goals, that's the potential, creating them for others and also kicking them themselves.
Absolutely. That man there going to be the focus of a couple of opportunities forward in this last quarter. You would imagine they start with Gilby, Ward and Gian Siracusa on the bench. An unusual three to start on the bench, I would have thought. And the Blues go with Walker, Houlihan and Warnock on the bench to start this final quarter here. The Dogs by 16.
Cal Ward started every quarter on the bench so far in this game, so just part of a rotation that they're certainly sticking with. Jared.
Well, he might start on the bench, but I reckon he'll be getting a podium finish when they're giving out best and fairest votes at the Dogs. He has been terrific today.
In the middle, Hudson works it down. Judd to Murphy. Immediately Carlton into their forward 50. Morris courageously working back. Ball was touched off the boot though, and he got a high tackle. Morris will get the free at centre half back.
Looking purely at statistics, you think Carlton are winning this game easily, but just the Dogs have been a bit harder in the 50-50 balls.
Hill came on as a sub in that third quarter for the Western Bulldogs. Nice little kick to Griffin over the top. Tom Williams, the runner, ignores that, and a 50-metre penalty. This is going to bring Griffin within about 25 metres with very little angle. Is that about the 7th 50-metre penalty for the game?
And at least 4 of them for the same. I mean, the Geishas clearly had the slide rule out during the week.
Well, I haven't seen it. I didn't see it. I've seen 2 other games this week, and I haven't seen one of these paid. So you've seen a couple, Jared?
Seen a couple.
So focal point this week by the looks, because they have been handed out left, right, and centre here today for a 22-point Dog lead. Ryan Griffin comes in without any problems whatsoever.
Maybe a coincidence, BT, but they have been right onto it today, the boys in yellow. As we'll take a look at this one, and well, that one wasn't for going over the line. That was zone. Inside the box.
Yeah, fair enough. Ryan Griffin has been all work this year for the Dogs. When the Dogs weren't playing well, he was.
And surprisingly, the Dogs have played well today. It's probably his worst game for the year, but one of the hardest things in footy is that when you've had a bad first half is to fight back. Well, he was one of their best players in the third quarter, and he started the last in great fashion.
Neither ruckman made contact with the actual football. Cooney, lovely handball. Hudson, here's Griffin again. Simpson's got him in the tackle. Now it's about retrieving the ball. Did well, the young man Hooper, in game 3. In amongst it, he drags it back in.
A little passage of play there, just the desperation of the Dogs. Hooper and Cross and Cooney and these type of players, it just look a little bit harder than these Blues at the moment.
I think you're right, Pickers. Their tackling has been best I've seen from the Dogs for a long time.
Hudson going down. Cooney got it off to Hill, just too firm with the handball. Hill then, it just needed to be a soft touch. Garlett now away with the ball to Scotland. Strong hands. Keith Scotland has hurt his right shoulder as well. Here's the lead of Thornton. Thornton is going to mark closer to goal. And Scotland just recovering to the right of screen with that right shoulder. Fierce competitor. He won't come off the ground. Thornton lines up. for a huge kick in the context of this game, because the lead is out to 22 with the Dogs. Brett Thornton often has gone forward and kicked goals for the Blues. In he comes and hits the post. So a 21-point margin. Just have a little bit of a right fade.
It was coming. It was coming, BT.
What about that young man there? Had the shivers up. It was so tense. There's Gilby. Full back, got to be careful with it here, the Dogs. Change off hand, so Carlton will get another chance to reload at their forward end here. Dogs by 21. Palm down to Griffin, nailed in a Murphy tackle with assistance Robinson.
Looks like at each stoppage, Jono, the Blues nominate one player to run through at pace.
Yeah.
We saw Cooney before, we saw Griffin that time, Ward's done it a few times. Doesn't always work.
You mean the Dogs to nominate one?
Sorry,
yeah.
the Dogs. And there's another one.
Yep.
Just always running through hard.
And Ward's gone through a couple of times, as you mentioned. Yeah, it does look like that, doesn't it?
But you can only consistently do that when your ruckman is on top, and they've certainly had that today with Ben Hudson.
Ward gets it out to Grant. Grant out of scoring distance around the corner to Gian Siracusa. Now Gian Siracusa will have to kick it 50 metres. You can see the angle. Tough.
Well, this is if he can kick the ball from on the 50-metre mark, he can make the distance. But from this angle, he does like to spot up as short.
Needs a little left to right finishing tail on it too. Gian Siracusa really trying to get some leverage on the ball by going out to the right. Kicked it out of bounds on the full. Dygan. Now Judd. Dogs have won 3 in a row, looking for their 4th victory in a row, the Western Bulldogs. The Blues have had a great year. 10 wins for them. Dygan with pressure down the throat of Wood. Wood uncertain what to do with it. Eventually got it away, but not necessarily to the advantage of Higgins. How strong was he to keep his feet then, Higgins? Murphy surely infringes against Gian Siracusa.
But the issue with Dygan was he went off and just went slowly away. He needed to go off with a bit of speed in his movement, and he may have been able to effect a better kick.
There's Hall on the lead. He wanted it short, and he had him beaten on the lead too, but Gee just couldn't get it over the man on the mark and get it to drop. Higgins ran into Henderson. So a tight opening start to this final quarter in the first 6.5 minutes. Just the one Griffin goal so far. Over the boundary line again.
Jared Grant, Jono, where's he at right now in his career? Still a young developing player.
Yeah, he's still a young developing player. Look, I think this year he's nearly been the #1 target down there for the defence, especially in the early part, which affected his form.
Yep.
And he's really still searching to find some of that good footy that we know he can play at the Western Bulldogs.
100% of the game today. Jared Grant, one of only 3 players to do that. Laidler, the others of course being Lockie Henderson one, and I think Bob Murphy the other. There's a sliding Gibbs. Can't see it on screen, but Judd comes for a spell. Dogs fans in the background starting to chew their nails a little. Kick down the line. Struggling attempt at mark by Thornton. Warnock went in. Did he throw it? Williams says, get out of my way. He's played with an incredibly positive attitude today. It's been impressive. Cooney, well done on Walker.
His absolute idol retired during the week from State of Origin rugby in Lockyer. That's why he's inspired, I'd say, BT.
Okay.
Loves the Queenslanders.
Here's Dalhouse. Chipping ball. Higgins down low has taken the mark. Dalhouse does have a habit of making things happen, and Higgins has got a bit of cramp in the left hamstring.
Not sure about you, John. I was just watching Andrew Walker and an average attempt at putting some pressure on that forward line. He looks like he's beaten in the mind. He knows he's had a bad game now. He either gets rotated off and given a spell on the bench, and well, they maybe say to him, look, we're in trouble here. We need to change it up. We may have to stick him in the middle or put him on somebody, because at the moment he has not contributed.
Higgins for his first goal today. Directly in front. Sean Higgins hangs it out to the right. It will not come back from there.
Talking about statistics, you come to a game and you watch Carlton and you say, well, just the start of the last quarter and you've had Murphy with 31 touches, Judd 27, Gibbs 26. You think the Blues are dominating. So, I mean, they've got to get something out of their forward line. You mentioned Walker, he's only had 5 touches.
The Bulldogs' back line has been absolutely on top. They've rebounded and created the goals, and they've also prevented the Blues from kicking the goals.
Judd just apologising to the boundary umpire then as Rodney Eade surveys the situation. Rather anxious looking Rodney Eade there. Judd with the stoppage clearance. Garland accelerating towards the ball. Here is Walker and Easton Wood. Easton Wood able to bust the tackle, but couldn't quite get it out clean. Garland handballs it. That should have been a free kick. We saw one of them paid earlier in the game. He handballed in front, and that was a definite kick that was mixed. There's the 200 gamer in Gilby from half back. A good looking ball, but the only one to keep their feet was Russell there. In comes Hooper, busts it open, cross with a feeding ball to Hill. Now Higgins and Dygan go at it. Dygan's friend is the boundary.
And here's the one you called, BT. Certainly got the handball away and was restricted in his run.
I just think the umpire was caught behind there and couldn't actually see the handball. He wasn't sure. Griffin from the stoppage. Well, it's now a 23-point lead, 10 minutes played, final quarter. Carlton need it to happen right now. Who is going to ignite the Blues here? So often it's been their skipper. And here he is fighting with another Brownlow medalist in Cooney. Boyd goes inside again. Blues looking rather edgy in defence. Bauer went in, dragged the ground. Somehow they extract, or do they? Here's Hill from the boundary. Straightening ball marked by Bauer.
Just need to get a little bit more on that, Josh Hill.
If he's marking players a chance, Jono.
Scotland as the deepest forward. They've gone really small.
Oh boy, Tom Williams having a ripping game. Cut that off from Yarran, and now Easton Wood with a kick to Ward. Has he got the journey in his legs from here, Jono?
No, I don't think he has.
Neither does he.
And so he plays on. Boyd couldn't hold the mark. Held off here. Cade Simpson trying to bore a hole through them. Trying to get it out in any fashion he could. Now,
Rodney Eade would be disappointed with that. An easy kick to a guy who had a good 10 metres surrounding him.
Geez, they've been good though, the Dogs at the press up. I haven't seen the Dogs press up forward as well as this. They've cut out the space for all the smalls, and they need now to play counter-attack football, but their half-backs just aren't built like that. Here's another one running through.
Got a bit of a 2-4 going in their press at the moment, the Dogs. 2 in the last line of defence, 4 players in front of that. And it looks rock solid at the moment. Here is Yarran.
Their greatest rebounding halfback is Yarran at the present time with the ball in his hands.
Look at him. Holds the hands in the air, Judy says, well, there's nothing for me to go to.
Well, the other halfback that rebounds well is Scotland, and he's actually up at full forward.
Yep. Bauer. Joseph. And now he can penetrate to Murphy if he's game enough. The ball's hung in the air. Hill has stolen it. He just hung the ball in the air too long, and he didn't draw the player to him. Boy, oh boy. Josh Hill with a resultant kick at goal from 35 to 40 metres out. Gian Siracusa letting Joseph know that he may have made a fatal error. Hill comes in very close to the man on the mark. That is an ordinary setup for set shot. You've got to make sure you give yourself an extra couple of steps in case you misjudge the man on the mark's mark, or if the umpire doesn't adjudicate it the way he should. And that forced the pull to the right then. Russell, high ball. Off the back, Walker looking to take it away. Kept it alive. Here's cross to Williams.
One goal, BT, and it's the final nail. The Dogs kick the next one.
Yep.
They'll bury the Blues.
Well, Pickers has been all over the guy on screen then today in Ben Hudson. Last week, he did it against Jamar and Martin. Tonight, he's done it against Cruiser and Warnock.
38,582 into Etihad today. Betts keeps it rolling. There is the man, Jared Hill, he spoke of a moment ago, that they need a cross half back. Gets the ball out to Garland. He can keep it alive.
Clever, but beaten by the line.
Jeff Garland. He's not been able to cut loose today, hasn't he? In fact, has not kicked a goal. And he is in their leading trio of goal kickers this year. At the back, Allard. Kilby did well. Barry Hall has been getting a lot of hamstring attention today. Rubs and
put a hand in the face. So a good effort by David Allard. Stand in front of the charging bull.
Saw Rodney Eade talking closely to Barry Hall at three-quarter time, just asking whether he had another 10 minutes in him in this last quarter. Kick goes forward, taken by Walker, so some chance here for the Blues.
And he's pinched a couple of metres.
Has he ever?
Rays onto it.
Ray brings him back, but I still reckon he ended up, he went for a 5-metre gain, he got a 2.5-metre gain. Not a bad result for Walker. So this is a must-kick goal situation.
It's a big turnaround, isn't it? To get one miss at the other end.
Yep. To get it back to 3 straight goals. Andrew Walker's had a quiet day. He can help out his team here in a big way. Walker comes in and he does it very, very nicely. The Blues are back within 3 straight kicks here on a Sunday afternoon.
And that's the thing, Jared. It can, as a player, it can turn for you quite quickly if you hang in there. So Walker will be looking to have an impact in the last 8.5 minutes of play. But he got a mismatch there. Daniel Cross was searching for the body, and Walker was able to then sneak around and take the mark and finish it quite well.
So they're back in action here. The Blues, I'm sensing something nice. Speaking of nice things, there's the other ruckman, Hampson, but sitting next to him, friend Megan.
Project Runway.
Oh boy.
Got to get centre clearances, the Blues.
I'm sensing something, Jared. I'm feeling it here for the Blues at the moment. Here's Yaron.
It's gone forward.
Head over the ball. Griffin's got it all to do. Murphy pursuing. And another Murphy.
Trouble.
The dog style had a chance, and here come the Blues. I'm really feeling it in the groove at the moment. Good looking kick. Thornton couldn't quite get down. Robertson to bore a hole through a couple. He went for it. They nailed him.
Did he what?
And Razor Ray says, give it to me. Nice try, Mitch.
We might be in a bit of trouble here on screen, but look at that for an attack at the footy.
Bang, through one and take on another here as well. Mitch Robinson trying to be a superhero and very nearly succeeded. Under pressure here at the moment, the Dogs. Real win-loss pressure. Walker, handball out the back door, and the Dogs tumble that one towards the boundary. 8 minutes left. 3 goals needed for a tie. Going to have to kick 4 if they want to win it, the Blues, in 8 minutes. Murphy. Tooney finds Jones. Jones wants to move it to Hill. And he does.
Barry Hall one out. Here's the lead.
Here it comes to Hall. Ball kicked a little heavy again for Barry, but he forces the contest. Jordan Russell pursued by Hooper. And now they can go. Henderson starting to open up. Some tired legs now, Jono. An intercepted handball by Boyd. Boyd a chiseling ball to Barry.
Brilliant work from the skipper.
Hall will line up for his 4th goal. Barry Hall. Boyd. Matty Boyd. Sensational stuff in the interception from the Robinson handball. Hall kicks this, you would very nearly think the Blues are going to struggle to get up. From 50 metres out. No problems with the distance or accuracy. Barry Hall is real happy.
And they sensed it. They sensed it. And they've delivered, Jono. Hard to see the Blues getting back from here. Not impossible, but most unlikely. And you came here believing that the Bulldogs would win this match. Did you believe as a group over the last few years you had their measure? Not so much 3 or 4 years ago, but just last year where you flogged them after they had a good run and you were struggling.
Well, it was this time of year, around 15 I think it was last year, where we were able to get, when I was playing we were able to get a hold of the Carlton Football Club and win quite comfortably, but look, deep down coming today, you knew they'd compete because they ride on a fair bit of confidence to the players. And certainly not over yet, Jared.
Still no extras going behind the ball for the Dogs, so they're still very much in attack mode here. Lindsay Gilby over the top, and Cooney looking for the proceeds of that. Handballed across. He knew if he took possession he was going to be tackled, trying to tap it on. And here goes Murphy with a long ball inside 50, looking for Walker. Thornton getting back as well. Stretching attempt by him. And the Dogs supporters on the perimeter piping very happy. Some of those young kids sitting on the fence. And there they are, a happy bunch wearing the Dog jumpers. Robinson, looked like they all could have been from the one family, those kids. Have their handfuls, looked like about 8 of them under 10. I know you've been through that.
I've got 2 BT, not 8. Imagine 8.
It's just a wild guess, it's highly unlikely, but Hudson now to Judd.
That's a free kick.
Simpson will get it. So still 5 3/4 minutes remaining. So there's some quality time left in this game yet. Simpson a long ball, couldn't get his run at Murphy off hands. It comes to Murphy. And he mongrels it out wide. Touch on that, so they'll get another look at the Blues. And here's your family, Jono.
Yes, there's my daughter having a bit of a sing there in the crowd. She's explaining the rules, I think. Good to see I can keep an eye on the kids while I'm on the other side of the ground, BT.
All 3 were yours there?
No, just my daughter Ella there today. The son Jack's a bit crook at home.
Brad Johnson
so he couldn't make it.
Refusing to give the daughter's friends any acknowledgement at all.
Nothing at all.
Nothing for the friends there. Obviously doesn't know their names.
Georgia and Michaela.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't let my daughter come to the footy with people I don't know, BT.
Judd.
It's been an intriguing battle, Judd and Boyd, the 2-5s.
Have a look at this, bit of space here. Yaron can straighten from 48 metres out. He's missed to the left.
Just to back up your point, Gerald, Judd's been a very good player for Carlton.
Yep.
But Boyd's had it 23 times, had 11 tackles.
Yep.
So, terrific matchup.
There's big questions out of this. I mean, how good are the Bulldogs? And the Blues have had a couple of flaws really exposed in their match play.
Murphy goes long and deep, looking for Hill, and Henderson got back. The Dogs have North Melbourne, Sydney and West Coast over the next 3 weeks. They will have won 4 in a row after this one here today, presuming they win. And then they face North here, Sydney and Sydney, West Coast here. They will be on 7 wins after this and within 2 points of the top 8. And for the Blues, Well, they've got Collingwood, Essendon, North over the next 3 weeks. Dalhouse, the Dogs to finish them off. And I think that's bounced through remarkably. Barry says, yes, that's a goal. And Gian Siracusa, the beneficiary of it.
Well, this one moved through the air like a Woomer banger. Very, very difficult kick.
A Woomer banger.
That's a Woomer bang. It moves 4 different directions. And Barry Hall can't believe it.
Also known as the floater.
Yeah, that'll do.
And you look across possessions, disposals aren't everything in a game of footy, Jared. You look at the Bulldogs, have got Adam Cooney on 30, Boyd on 24, Ward on 20, everyone else under 20 disposals for the day, where Carlton have just been able to rack up a lot of numbers.
296, 357 are the comparisons. This bloke's had a blinder.
Hasn't he been a ripper? Ward to space. Carlton closed that down. Henderson, wonderful hands at full speed and stretch. Dygan trying to caress it along the boundary. Interception by Hill.
Disposal number 9 coming up since coming on a sub halfway through the third quarter.
Josh Hill, high ball. Here's Jones, sets himself. Russell, what is the future for Josh Hill, do you think, at the Dogs, Brad?
He's certainly got a role to play. He certainly does ride on a lot of confidence. And when he gets his confidence up and going, he really is hard to stop. Really just trying to find his feet at the moment in position-wise this year.
Thornton.
Over the top, Walker, surely.
Second effort. He's going all the way. He's gone too low with the kick, and now Walker's got to get around a couple. He had Eddie there, but somehow he conjured something up, and it was a miss in the end. It's the 1 goal today for Andrew Walker, their leading goal kicker going into this game. Went into the game with 36 for the year.
It's a big score though, BT. 9 goals is not a really big result given the amount of talent they've got in their forward line. But gee, the Western Bulldogs, 14 goals. It's a really good effort. A side that really hasn't played great footy all year.
And a side that was down 27 points at the 8-minute mark of the second quarter. Rodney would be delighted with a 4th consecutive victory for the Western Bulldogs, because I think it would have gone through their minds, Gerard, 3 or 4 weeks ago, depending on, 3 or 4 weeks ahead of them 3 or 4 weeks ago, do we start looking for the future, or are we still in this year? I reckon it would have actually gone through their minds.
Yeah, they were probably only a loss or 2. I mean, last week the game was built up for the Western Bulldogs as, do or die for the season. This week, probably the same. Maybe this win has given them just a little bit of breathing space, but all of a sudden the charge is gaining some legitimacy with this victory. In Gold Coast, Adelaide and Melbourne, I mean, those scalps gave them some confidence, but they needed a big one to, I guess, let the world know that they're back as a force.
Warnock and Judd combining there. In the end, they couldn't take it away from the stoppage. As Allard is driven into the ground.
And I think the whole footy world's been waiting for Tom Williams to either show he's going to make it, or I guess show that it was an experiment gone wrong. But geez, on what we've seen over the last month, I'm glad he actually punched that away. He's been fantastic today.
Simpson trying to get Cross onto the ball, not successful. Cross a nice mark, says steady as she goes, boys. There's 2 minutes and 19 left, and we don't want to give away one from here. Easton Wood out wide looking for Higgins, and he's gradually been improving, Jono, with some games under his belt this year, Higgins.
Yeah, he's getting better and better across. He probably hasn't played as much down back today as what he has the last month of footy, but his job last week on Colin Sylvia was his standout game for the year.
He's played the 12 games this year. There's Higgins.
I think Easton Wood's played too many better games for the Bulldogs in the moment today.
He's rather dashing the last line, isn't he? He looks powerful and able to penetrate with his run when he gets hold of the ball at halfback, doesn't he?
He just looks like, I guess, a muscled-up version of a Lindsay Gilbey.
Yeah. Speaking of Lindsay, I wonder whether he'll go the chair option off the ground or whether he'll decline for his 200th. He's 30 years of age.
He'll be up there.
There is Betts with the size large shorts it was to Garlett.
He's just come back on the ground, Lindsay Gilbey. BT, now I'm going to try and grab him after the game. It's his 200th. Just not sure whether I'm allowed to interview him, or is it just you?
Go ahead. It's all yours. The boy from Coldstream, the coldest place in Victoria, other than the high country, of course. Garlett with a gyrocopter-style spinning thing. Horrible it was off the boot.
At the moment, the Amigos have just got 2 goals between them.
Have a look at the run ahead for the boys here for the Western Bulldogs there next month. Includes a bye in their next month as well, so they'll be looking forward to that as the season closes down. There it is, North Melbourne, Sydney, West Coast, and then the bye in that round 20 game. Just a minor score for Walker there, but some solid competition ahead for Rodney Eade and the team. 3 teams that are all playing some reasonable footy. North Melbourne have had a little mini slump in the last 2 weeks.
Jono, I'm not sure how much you are at the club these days, but it seems to me that the Bulldogs forward press was off the pace at the start of the year. It was a little bit deeper. It was a half line deeper than most. But today, if you just look at the numbers, they've created 29 forward half turnovers to the Blues 16. I mean, that'd be through the roof for the Western Bulldogs as far as numbers go.
Well, the pleasing thing is, and we mentioned it before the game, it was about the opposition though, with Gold Coast and Adelaide and Melbourne, who are playing poorly.
Yep.
To do it now against a competitive top 4 side is the pleasing thing and what Rodney will walk away with.
Siren has sounded, and it's a delighted Western Bulldogs. Ben Hudson and Ryan Griffin, 2 good performances today. Barry Hall kicked 4 today. And a big win for Rodney Eade, and his team gives the thumbs up to the coaching staff in there, and the skipper, Matty Boyd, delighted. 4th consecutive victory for the Bulldogs, and they are now back within 2 points of a final 8 position. Some issues with the Blues. Jared Waite appears to have done some sort of a leg injury, subbed out of the game early. And some soul-searching to do for the Blues. Of course, Carlton, with a 103-point win against the Tigers last week, have been rolled here by the Western Bulldogs by 27 points. And Liam Pickering is down there on the ground. Take it away, Pickers.
Yeah, I just had to ask BT's permission to interview you, Gilbs. Well played. What a great way to enjoy your 200th.
Yeah, obviously, milestones do mean a lot, but I think they're more special if you win them. And it was really good. The boys really dug in, and Carlton are a top side. They're going to be a great final side at the end of the year. So it was good. It was a good scale.
Certainly was. Halfway through that second quarter, not looking so good. They got it to about a 5-goal lead.
Yeah, they did. And to our credit, we didn't give in, and we stuck it out. And to get the win, it's very special.
I was going to say, the half-back line, and you're a part of that back line, but Murphy in particular gave a lot of run at that time. Was that a focus?
No, I think that's Murph's just natural game, and we like to do that. But it's to have Woody down there. Woody did a fantastic job. Tom Williams, Dale every week. Just the whole back line was really good. It was just a great effort from the team. It was brilliant.
It certainly was. A couple of the younger players in your forward line really loaded the pressure up on the Carlton defence as well. Didn't allow a lot of run into their defence.
Yeah, Hoops and Dell, they've both been fantastic since they come to the side. And G's been in terrific form, and it helps when you have 22 contributors on the field, and it was a really good effort.
Well, BT wants to know, are you going to get cheered off? How are you going to do it? What are they going to do with you, mate?
It was the coffee during the week. We'll say that. Me and BT caught up, and it was good.
Well done, mate. Well played.
Thanks, Pickers.
Lindsay Gilbey down there, absolutely delighted. Clipped the team manager there, Rodney Eade, of course.
BT, I caught up with him as well. Didn't get a mention.
Oh, well, Jono,
Gee whiz.
you're just a regular operator. Well, It is great scenes here. Of course, this is a Western Bulldogs home game today. As I said before, 38,582 people in the ground today. And the Dogs are officially back in business for season 2011.
A great coaching effort by Rod View to even give them a chance of playing finals footy.
The fans are delighted as Ryan Griffin says thank you for coming on a Sunday evening. And the Western Bulldogs have run out victors here on the other side of the break. Brad Johnson and Gerard Healy will tidy this one up. The Dogs winning today 14-12-96, defeating the Blues 9-15-69.